You know what time it is? It's 9 p.m. It's Friday night. You're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I'm here with my boy Brian D. Brian D, what is up, my dude?
You, what's up, Chris? How's everything been with you, bro? Tell me about your week, bro.
It's been a hell of a week. It's been a fun
All
week. I mean, we got a lot of
right.
stuff going on. Of course, we have the drop, of course, of probably one of the most anticipated movies of
I would.
2020 through 2021. I think it was pushed back a couple months, but 2020, 2021, we have SpiderMan. I got to go watch it. Have you seen that? I think you went to go see it too.
I did, sir. I saw it yesterday night. Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah. We all got to go see it. We are gonna have a discussion about it. Nothing in the spoilers in the comments or nothing like that right now. Let's keep it fresh and easy. We're gonna still catch up with a bunch of our other nerdy stuff too, because of course we had an awesome episode of Hawkeye also that was dropped.
Yes, we did.
We also had some really weird news too coming up, but yeah, the week's been pretty good. Got to do some building. I've been
Oh,
building a mask for a couple of days.
ooh.
Um, I built me a, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with this. There's a really interesting anime called Tiger Mask W, right?
Mhm,
And I had seen this mask a while back because I am a huge stick fighting game fan, right? Arcade fighting games.
mhm.
And of course, you cannot be a huge fighting game without being a fan of Tekken,
Of
probably
course.
one of the biggest goddamn franchises in fighting game history. Next
Mhm,
to, of course, Mortal Kombat and our boys on Street Fighter, Capcom,
of
shout
course.
out, dude. Uh, Tekken is probably one of the most influential games in the fighting world, and I am a really big fan of King.
Mhm.
So for a very, very long time, I've been looking for some type of badass like tiger mask or some type of tiger latex or anything like that. And everything I have come behind or come to find is cheesy as fuck, dude. I am not gonna lie, it's horrible. Amazon's got one leather one, or not leather, it's like those rubber Halloween masks, dude, like the
If I
really
were
bad
to,
ones.
if I ever see you in anything leather, I'm going
Yeah,
to.
I mean, might as well call me Crispy the Gimp, right? Just gimping it up. Um, Shout out, hey, what's up, Rob? How you doing in the comments, man? Shout
Yo,
out, shout out,
yo.
shout out. Thank you guys
What
for
up, Rob?
tuning in. But yeah, they just have this like rubbery. It's almost like equivalent to like you know how they sell the Jason Voorhees masks,
Yeah.
but usually sometimes it's gonna be just almost like a rubbery. Like it even has like the skin on one
Mhm.
side and then the weird skin leather rubber part in front for the Jason Voorhees mask. You just
Yeah.
buy the damn Jason Voorhees mask, the plastic one, and be cool as shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that was my thing. I was like, you know what? Like, I don't have a lot of opportunities. So I was doing some research, and in the tiger mask search in Google, I ended up coming across literally the tiger mask anime. And I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay, cool, like an anime. But it's not, it's very weird because it's not like a super popular anime. And for
Okay.
a while, it was really popular. I think it started off like in the 60s. Still kind of running right now. I believe it's still going on. I think Crunchyroll or Funimation was doing it for a bit.
Mhm.
And I just assumed there'd be some type of merchandise. Something. Nothing, man. Nothing. Dude, it's so wild because I was like, there has to be. Like, someone has to have it out there. And the only thing that I could find were the straight up like luchador masks,
Mhm.
which don't get me wrong, like luchador masks are cool. And the tiger mask, which is a pretty prominent wrestler in Japan that wrestles for, yeah, I think if I'm
New
not
Japan.
mistaken,
New
a
Japan.
NJPW, right?
New Japan.
That's the what new
New Japan.
Japanese pro wrestling
New
or something.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
Yep.
like yeah, they've been running for a bit. Tiger Mask has been a character. There's been several iterations of him through the years, only to find out that the original story of Tiger Mask is literally about the same dude that Nacho Libre is based on. You know what I mean? Which is, I mean, not necessarily Nacho Libre, but the actual wrestler that they created the Nacho Libre story about.
Mhm.
So that's who Tiger Mask is invented as. And I mean, everybody loves Nacho Libre. Jack Black did amazing in that movie. Badass story of a pastor of a church or, you know, who did wrestling to support an orphanage. I mean, dude,
Mhm.
that's movie material right there. If
Mhm.
that's not a if that's not a what a Jean Claude Van Damme movie in the '90s, I really don't know what is. But to know that that was someone's real life, and then for it to have such an impact in the community that it literally created the Tiger Mask character in Japan, then
Mhm.
for it to also encourage and encourage the creation of King in the video game world, who is also a dude who wrestles to protect an orphanage, a group of orphans. That's why he wrestles in the game. So, and then not only that, to get a movie Nacho Libre that, even though it is a comedy, people of my culture literally look at it like it's like, yep, yeah, that's pretty much probably the way it went because that's the
A
way we are.
biopic.
Yeah, it's literally a
As soon
documentary
as
or
you,
some
as
shit.
soon as you said it, I'm never gonna be able to get it out of my head because the 80s and 90s were so wild that they probably would have gotten Jean-Claude Van Damme to be a Mexican wrestler.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
that
just like
accent?
that.
Can you imagine that accent?
I was just talking about that with the other day. I was like, yo, bro, can you imagine that the 90s were such a wild fucking place that Van Damme played like an American US Army veteran Guile from Street Fighter? And he was literally
Yo.
like, okay, he's got the hardest like Scandinavian fucking accent, and he's got a United States flag on his bicep, dude.
Oh shit. The
You,
90s are
you can't
wild,
make that
yo.
shit up.
The 90s
You
are
can't
fucking
make that shit
wild,
up,
bro. They were
man,
wild.
dude. So, did you, by chance? I think we talked about this last week. Did you get to watch the fucking the what Dragon Ball Z or Street Fighter movies or anything like that?
No, I did not. I had such a busy week. I had no time to do any of that. But
Really?
I promise you. Once I do get a couple of some spare time, I will give it a look. I mean, I don't even know why. I'm just setting myself up for
Look, I have a
failure.
great idea. You can tell me if it's a bad idea, which you probably are going to say that's a really bad idea.
It's probably a bad
We
idea.
should totally do like a Facebook live event watch party.
Watch along,
A
yes,
watch along, dude. And we'll do
yes,
like the shittiest fucking movies that we
yes,
know.
yes,
Like, and
yes.
we'll start with like
I'm
the
in. I'm
Chung Li
in.
Street Fighter.
I'm
No, you know
in.
what? As a matter of fact, we should totally start with that Dragon Ball Evolution movie. That
I
should be
will.
like our
I'm gonna. You know
genesis.
what? I'll be busy. I'll be busy that night.
And
I'm
then
busy that
let's just,
night.
dude, we can drink. We can drink and watch these movies. And then by the end of the movie, it's great because we're just gonna shit all over it.
I'm gonna get so drunk, you guys are gonna like kick me out the watch along party. Like, all right, Brian's gotta go. Brian's too drunk. All right, he's gotta go.
Me
He's
and
gotta go.
Trigger always talked about that too. That we wanted to do. We got to do it one time where we did like we were talking about where we wanted to do comic book references or comic book story arcs, but we
Mhm.
wanted to do it while one of us was like completely drunk, trying to
Hammered.
explain the story. Yeah, and one of us is questioning the other on, hey man, well tell us about like Thanos when he gets the gauntlet, and just go on just the randomest complete like just drunk escapades of just explaining stories.
That sounds like a great time.
We had a pretty good time when we did it once on the show. Once. But yeah, I get really cussy when I drink, like really like get just cussy, like sailor cussy.
I need to see that, Chris. Because I listen back to our shows and I curse a lot. I realize
Hey, it's all right.
I curse a lot. So to have somebody bounce that at least level me out a little bit with the cursing
To
would be
balance
great.
it out.
Would be great from time to time, you know?
Yep. So how's everything going? So how's work? How's Jersey? How's life going on?
Everything's good. I know that I was a little bit bummed out last week, but everything again, it's just like every other week, it's it gets better. So this week was a lot better. It's just been busy, keeping myself occupied. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm sitting here with the beer in my hand, looking forward to this weekend. Here to talk about some nerdy shit with you and Rob and everybody else that's in the comments, dude. Let's get to it, man.
By chance, what's the weather like over there where you're at right now?
Actually, it's mild, it's warm.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the 50s, 60s, which is weird.
What's up,
It's
Eels?
weird.
Edgar, my boy. How's it going?
Yo, it's super weird for it to be this warm, this close to Christmas.
This close to Christmas.
Normally it's been snowing already. It's been cold, but yeah, man. I don't know, man.
You know what? Actually, we're in the same boat.
Crazy.
Like because I've told you before the way the valley weather is. It's always hot here. But usually around about this time, maybe closer to Christmas, like the weekend of maybe. Um, we'll get to that 50, 60 weather.
Mhm.
But about this time every year, our gym is usually like you need warm ups because we don't have like we have like an old Rocky Balboa gym, like no AC, open the garage door, like just get it.
Mhm.
Right. That's the gym that I'm always posting up, that my gym, right?
Yeah.
Bad Boys Boxing Gym. Shout out to my gym. Beating people up all day. Um, yeah, but it's usually warm up weather by now, where you have to wear something warm to go and train there because it's just a little rough without it. But it is fucking warm right now. It is really, really fucking warm for no goddamn reason. So it's a little bit weird, but it's kind of like scary in the sense of we kind of feel like we're gonna have to anticipate some shit's gonna come soon, right?
Yeah.
Because I think like maybe 2 years ago, Texas in our area and up all the way to like Austin and
Oh yeah, I forgot
we
about
got
this.
hit really bad with a bad snowstorm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is like, the big man upstairs way of saying, hey buddy, fucking prep.
Yeah.
Prep and get ready. So I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. When
Shoot.
something like that happens, and it's safe to say that states like Texas aren't prepared for that. When that happens, are you prepared for that now, or do you think you're still standing there with your pants around your ankles at this point?
It's really weird. And the reason why I say that is because 90 to 80% of our community has never driven on snow.
Mm-hmm.
So like we don't know about snow tires. People freak out about fucking ice on the windows down here.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you wake up and there's like frost or like ice build up from the sleet on the sun. So people freak out about that because we're just not used to that.
Yeah.
So you could imagine when we had a snowstorm that literally took out 50,000 people's electricity for fucking 16 days.
Mm-hmm.
Our community was they were a little wild, man. They were a little crazy. We had actually, what's even sadder than that? It's a small community, so it's so weird to explain it, but we had several people, like 2 families of like 6 people in each family, die because they brought their generators in their home. They brought it into their home and they got the carbon monoxide poisoning death, which it causes a tired feeling into sleep, and then you die in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not aware of that because the generators they were using were gas powered generators. Of course, at that time, our like Walmarts and our Lowe's and Home Depots, they weren't prepared for the amount of people that were out there clamming to buy the fucking generators.
Yeah.
So, and something with the electricity too, because that's why the electric company that we have, we're not prepared for that kind of weather. But now the companies have already kind of adjusted, the bigger companies.
Mm-hmm.
The people too, I would say we're more like we'll get prepped for like 2 weeks prior.
Okay.
Rather than do it, like the way we should, like at least a month and prep and buy, because those seasons are coming. But like right now we're starting to see the squeeze of the food shortage stuff. It's not like a fucking like, which this isn't fucking Cuba where everybody's lining up at Walmart and they're throwing cheese and rice at people or some shit. Like it's not like that, but like we're starting to notice like the meat prices go up for like the beef products and chicken products and all that stuff. Like where it used to be like $7 to $10 a pound is now up to like $17, $18 a pound.
Okay.
We get that opportunity since we're a lot of farmers and ranchers. A lot of people get some really nice, badass barbecue and steaks and all this other stuff. And all that stuff has gone up in price, pretty solid. So it kind of makes you wonder if it's something that we should be prepping for. Because, I mean, you being in a way bigger state than us or in a way bigger city, like you guys are probably being told that, or you probably see the bigger demand and supply chains, kind of like the slowdown in the price and everything changing. Are you or people that preparing for anything like all of that weird economic collapse or the food shortage collapse or all that crazy shit that we hear talking to like our conspiracy theory people or whatever?
I don't see anybody like getting weirded out about it, but I mean the talks are there. Over here we have a lot of people that work at the harbors and the docks and all that stuff. So they're the ones that are telling people like, hey, listen, some weird shit's happening over here. So you should probably stock up on certain things. So it's not like everyone is just, it's not mass chaos yet, but I do feel as though and honestly, I don't ever think it will get to that point where it's mass chaos. I just think that there will be some shortages in certain things, and you'll just have to go without, I think.
Yeah, Edgar, my friend, sent me a pic of like the way like some of the shops in Cuba look and stuff like that. Because it's
Hmm.
very, very slim the way that they kind of like get their food shortages and food stuff
Yeah.
and processes. It's really sad, but yeah, it's really concerning because I mean, yeah, like we've all seen it on TV before, like on the Discovery Channel or whatever travel channel, where they have like those fucking dudes that prep in bunkers and hide food in the woods and duffel bags and all this other weird shit. Uh, but like it's really weird that we have this situation where you know it's more in the forefront of where people are speaking about, right? Like in the sense of like that there's actual not an opportunity, but like there's a chance that you know the food shortage might happen or something like that with times. And I think it's one of those things like prepping isn't a bad thing. And I've been kind of telling people like, hey, you know what, like don't be afraid to buy some fucking spam and put that shit up in, in your fucking
Well,
like
listen,
your food
I don't give a
pantry.
fuck what kind of food shortage we have. I'm not eating fucking spam, dude.
Dude, I
Like,
can teach
fuck
you some
that.
shit, man.
You're
I
not
can
gonna
teach you some
listen.
foods.
I'm not trying to learn shit about spam, bro. Fuck that.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something like it's something like maybe we should just keep an eye on for now. The food shortage thing has been around. I think I mentioned this on the show like literally months ago, but Bill Gates was telling people that, hey man, you know what? Like buying that fucking science meat that they make in a petri dish, like it ain't too bad. You guys should totally look into that shit. While he was buying fucking $1 million worth of ranch land in New York and
Hmm.
shit like that, I was kind of like, yeah, this guy's a little dicey, man. Just a
I
little,
don't
little
I, I
dicey.
don't know. I don't know if it's gonna ever get to that point where it's gonna be like end of the world, living in bunkers, needing to eat spam.
Nah, I don't think he'll ever get to that.
I don't think it'll ever get to that point. I think you'll just be paying more because they'll be rationing out the supply, but you're just gonna have to pay more. And it's the truth. It's the same thing with gas. No matter how much they raise the gas, are you not gonna get gas? No matter how much they raise the price of a ham, are you not gonna eat? No matter how much they raise the price of water, are you not gonna drink water? So it's like you're just gonna have to pay in inflation. That's all we're gonna see.
Okay, well that makes a lot of fucking sense. That makes more sense to me than anything, man. Because gas prices right now are, I mean, dude, where you guys are at, they're probably a lot more weirder than ours.
Our gas price, I think it's like 350.
Yeah,
If
we're at
I'm
270 right now.
Yeah, we're at like 350 right now
Yeah, but
for a
the
gallon.
supply and demand chain and being in a huge city is going to be like super crazy though.
Yeah, and I'm not even in a big city. I'm close to a big city, but 350 is fucking expensive, dude. I remember
Yeah,
when it was $1 for a gallon, bro, and I started driving. So it's like this shit is fucking crazy.
yeah, it's a little wild. But yeah, fuck it. Let's talk some nerdy shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do
so
it.
really weird. We had a really cool discussion last week because we had a really cool announcement that we were discussing the Game Awards and they released this really really great trailer. It was called Star Wars Eclipse. We all saw it based off of the High Republic era.
Oh yeah,
A
yeah,
lot
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
stuff is
yeah.
coming out, looking super sharp still. But
But
yeah, it doesn't take too long, man. We were talking about this, man. Star Wars, dude. It's like that one dude that you never want to invite to a party because you know he's gonna start some shit when he drinks,
and he always starts some
and
shit when
he
he
always
drinks.
starts some shit. Um, Star Wars Eclipse is getting some backlash, man. There's a
Hell
hashtag going
yeah.
around called Blackout Star Wars Eclipse, right?
Yeah.
The reason why is because the main dude that's in charge of Star Wars, well, not Star Wars. It's the company that runs it, Quantum or Quantic, right? Yeah, Quantic Dream.
Hmm.
There's two gentlemen. One of them is hard to name. He's this French dude, but I'm gonna try it without
Go
fucking
for it.
killing his
Go for it.
name.
Go,
There's
go,
two
go,
dudes,
go, go.
founded by David Cage and
Give it.
Guillaume de Fondiomier.
I'll accept it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. If you want
I'll
to spell it,
accept
try
it.
it off of that.
Fuck that.
Well, these two dudes are two head directors of Quantic Dream, which are the guys that are developing Star Wars Eclipse. They're getting called out for some shit that happened a while back, actually in 1997. Like all the way back to 1997, they're getting called out for some stuff. Apparently, some of the workers that worked along with these developers back then have called them out for a lot of discrimination and a lot of stuff that was done in the sense of racism or in the sense of sexism or in the sense of just being vulgar and toxic towards people in the work environment. And
Hmm.
now they're getting called out for it, man. This is super equivalent to what happened to James Gunn. Um, we were just talking about it before the thing. Dude, does Star Wars right now need this type of drama?
No, and I think the term that I used when we were talking about it in pre-production is I honestly Star Wars as a franchise as a whole, it's just snake bitten, bro. It's snake bitten. It's like every time you turn around, there's something negative about it. There's really very little positive that comes out of the camp of Star Wars. Um, to answer your question, no, they don't need this type of press right now. And like who's you have to understand the times that we live in. If you said anything, did anything, people are going to find out. They're gonna find out. We're in the age where we have information at the snap of a finger,
A
dude.
finger.
So it's like you can't have somebody with this type of history, especially when you're dealing with the what is it? The arc of um what is it, the Old Republic, or what is
Oh, the
it?
High Republic. High Republic.
The High Republic that deals with um you know a lot of different shit that you can't be involved in these type of scandals if this is what you're trying to do with your video game.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay, so because High Republic, the storyline that they're doing in the comic book, it's
Hmm.
got a lot of like the LGBTQ, a lot of people of color in it. Like
Yeah.
they're really pushing the envelope in the sense for Star Wars, because Star Wars has always been this really like weird place when it came for people of color in general. Like I used to kind of like, okay, so one of the major things that I was super concerned of with the last three trilogies was there was talks that Finn, the only black man other than Mace Windu and the other guy, which was what was that dude from the Han Solo movie? Uh, fuck a duck. I forgot. Well, you remember who I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that that was his father, like that
Okay.
was gonna be his dad,
Okay.
and I was like, so you're telling me that this random stormtrooper, super goddamn random, just chooses defect on his own, and then later on is that this one other black man in the franchise's son out of the entire galaxy. Like you couldn't open that up more. Like you couldn't say like he came from like another planet or another family or brought in a whole new name. Like it had to be this
Oh wait, you were talking about Lando.
Lando Calrissian. They were gonna say that that was
Oh, okay.
Lando's
Okay.
dad.
Yeah. John.
Like that
John.
Lando
Oh,
was
wait.
Finn's
What are you talking
dad.
about? Okay.
And then there was the other thing that there was like one other black lady that when what Princess Amidala's planet explodes,
Hmm.
like she looks at it and then they were like, well, that's gonna be Finn's mom. Like they were always like, oh, dude, there's another black person. They got to be related to this black person.
Okay.
That's the way Star Wars was working.
Yeah.
And I was like, I fucking hope not. Like you have a fucking whole universe of people that no one has to always be related. No
Hmm.
one always has to be related. Open the fuck up. It's okay to be cool and have different people that come from different ethnic races that don't have to be in somewhat related to each other.
But how do you? But like, what are the odds though? Like, that is some weird shit. What are the odds that you finally have some inclusive content? Like, you have some inclusive shit for
For Star
different
Wars.
for Star Wars. You have an inclusive uh arc, and the head of the
Well, the
gaming
two heads, yeah, the
development team,
producer
the
and
two
the
heads,
director are both being called out for
they're being
uh
called out for homophobic remarks,
racism.
for sexism and racism.
Yep.
how do you even do like that? Is so mind-boggling to me, bro. Like, what are the odds? What are the odds of that even happening to you?
Like, what are the odds? I mean, even in that, I mean, because the concept is okay. So we understand from reading the stuff that we were checking out earlier, there was some cases and these guys got called out. They did win some, and there's still some under scrutiny and investigation. What if they learned? Like, what if they learned and they were like, hey, you know what? Maybe we've been pieces of shit all our lives. Let's give back. Let's make the High Republic. People will love that shit. And they come out and they actually end up making a comic book storyline with people of ethnic races, transgender, LGBT community. Everything is being shown in the forefront. And then they get this idea, they get this thing, and they're like, yo, let's make a game. Star Wars is like, yo, let's get it. We love your idea. They make a trailer. The entire world fucking went nuts, dude.
No, they went nuts, but like with the proposition that you just suggested, if I am Lucasfilms or if I am an executive, I would just have to give a hard pass on this. That's yo, that's
Why
my
work with something that's got that in the background?
Are you kidding me? That's my I am gonna have to give more money to my PR department
Just fucking just calm this shit down.
Just to clear this shit up. I wouldn't like I no, absolutely not. I would if I would have knew about this beforehand, I would have just been like, you know what, I'll find another company to make my game.
And you know what, straight up, this is a really great example of what I was telling people with the James Gunn situation. When James Gunn got released for his tweets, and then DC was like, oh, it's cool, we got him. And they fucking picked him up to make Suicide Squad. Do you remember that?
Yep.
I was like, yo, like DC, don't you see what he did? Like, don't you see that he's got a little bit of like, you know, red in his ledger or whatever you want to call it, like Black Widow? Like there is a situation he has to fix first. DC was just like, nah, I don't give a fuck. Like, I need to make good movies. I need a director that can make good movies or whatever. But then Marvel bought him right back.
Well, because of that.
Yeah,
but once there's a hashtag,
yeah, oh man,
it's hard, dude. It's
ever
from that, bro.
By chance, I guarantee you do, because I think I probably asked this. You ever watch the Boondocks cartoon?
Of course. Yeah. You know what? I was thinking about this earlier. I swear I was thinking about this earlier because you asked about the live action movie that I would like to see.
Boondocks.
It would be fucking Boondocks.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I wouldn't mind seeing. Aaron McGruder is a really good writer. He's written that comic book for a long time. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, this moment with James Gunn would be an R. Kelly moment. The R. Kelly episode, like, yeah, we know he can make music and we know he can sing, but he pissed on someone. Yeah. We got to just take away his video camera or whatever Riley says. Like, just don't let him post that shit or whatever. Let him do that in private or whatever. Let
me ask you a question. I was thinking about this as well because this piggybacked off of me thinking about it.
Yeah.
Does the anime community view the Boondocks as an anime?
The MMA community?
The anime community.
Oh, it's actually the MMA community. I was like, the MMA community. I was like,
the anime community. Do you?
No, they don't see it as an anime.
Okay. Do you?
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily because it's not a cartoon.
Why? Because it's black?
No, because it's a cartoon not made in Japan. I give respect to it because it's made in America, and it's great. I can literally put it with anime because of the art style. Okay. But it's created by a black community. Like, that's not anime. Anime is literally Japanese shit. Like, that's a whole other thing. Like, okay, so let me ask you something.
I could fight you on this, but I'm too tired. I'm not even going to do it. But I can fight you on this. That is totally an anime, bro.
I mean, well, yeah, it's an animation. Yeah, I guess if you want to say that. But the thing is that's a. I mean, okay, it's a good question because if I'm not mistaken, there is now a black anime studio, a black owned anime studio in Japan.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, right now, would we take that same argument and if he made regular anime based on anime characters, mm-hmm. would that be him hijacking a culture? As the same way people talk about when K-pop artists like use dreadlocks in their hair or they take hip hop dance moves or they add that to theirs and they say that's culture stealing, or is it honoring them because they respect it and they love what it is, they love that image and they want to portray it for themselves and
Whether
not.
whether it's culture vulturing or
I
appropriation
wouldn't
or
say
whatever
culture
you
vulture. I think it's always
whatever
adoption.
but whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, it's still categorized as whatever they're saying, as
It would
whatever it
be.
is they're saying that they're trying to appropriate.
Yeah.
So no matter what, if you want to say that the Boondocks isn't anime because it's not made in Japan, or it's not, or it's appropriate, or it's appropriation or whatever, it can still be considered anime, no
Yeah,
matter what.
definitely because I could yeah, I mean I could definitely see that. I mean, but
I I categorize that as an anime
I
because
would for
of the
me
style,
myself.
the style, the way that it's shot, the way that it's so it's around, um, you know, Chinese, Japanese
Yeah, the
culture,
martial arts
the
genre and the
martial
action
arts.
and stuff.
Yeah,
It's very
it's
similar to it, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a good argument. I wonder what Aaron Magruder, the director of I wonder what
That's
he
a
calls it.
that'd be a great question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I really never heard him, which is the guy that created the strip of the original directing of the comic book actual,
Hmm.
like, title it because the art in the series
But if you think of it,
is very
if you think
similar to the way
about
he
it,
draws the strip.
yeah, but if you,
It's
even if
really
you think
beautiful.
about it, it's shot like an anime though.
Yeah, it's
They
done by
have panels.
Madhouse, and Madhouse is the guys that do, like, if I'm not mistaken, they do, like, Cowboy Bebop, the animation, the actual anime,
Yeah,
Ninja
and like
Scroll,
there's
like
panels, like the panels that show up, it's shot like an anime. So that's
yeah,
why I'm
dude,
like,
Stink Meaner is my favorite, dude. That's my
Stink Meaner
favorite.
is the fucking
God
man.
damn, that's my fucking.
Stink
Or
Meaner
a
is the
Pin Name
man, bro.
Slipback. That whole fucking episode is just fire, dude.
Yeah,
I was just laughing my ass off, dude.
blown away. And I think they're supposed to be coming back out soon.
Well, Aaron Magruder sold the rights to the company. He sold it a while back.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're gonna bring him to it. I know we talked about that once on the show where they are gonna revisit the series and try to redo the art and do all
Yeah.
this stuff. It would be very cool if they brought in the artist that did, which it should be Madhouse, Samurai Champloo, which had a lot of like that hip hop anime vibe to it.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful fucking art. Man, dude, Samurai Champloo's gorgeous. But yeah, I wouldn't know how to title it as if it's an anime or not because
And
I don't know.
honestly, I don't think
Good question.
if anime was at the height that it is right now, if we got another season of Boondocks, I think we're getting another reiteration or some more
Like a
Boondocks
retelling.
because of the height of animation
Because
of anime.
because I know that in the series they did leave out one or two characters that are really prominent in the comic strip. Because it's Huey, Riley, and then there's a third character, and then the little girl. And it's kind of like the Calvin and Hobbes kind of relationship between all of them, where
Mhm.
they all do the little kid stuff. But like the Huey, Riley and Huey, of course, Riley is like the revolutionary. No, Huey's like the revolutionary.
Huey's the
Riley's like the
revolution.
gangster. And
Yeah.
then the little girl is kind of like the dipsy chick. But the fourth one is this kid with dreads. And he's always like, the man, you guys are always fucking around and playing and shit. I'm out. Bye. Like he always like treats them like whatever, dude. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's good. He's like the audience. He's supposed to play the audience, I think. But great fucking man, dude. I love the Boondocks, man. I really do hope it comes back. Yeah, but Star Wars Eclipse
Star
is
Wars.
dealing with some stuff. Yeah, Star Wars Eclipse is doing with some stuff. We really don't know what it's going to do to the franchise, though. We don't know if it's going to be something that they're going to replace the director and the artist because of the fact that these two guys are actually highly involved in, of course, the High Republic. Or actually, I don't know if they are involved in the High Republic.
You know
The
me.
story is derived around the High Republic era, which is based a lot in the comic book around that. But I don't know if these two gentlemen are a part of that High Republic storytelling from the comic book.
You know how I think, dude. Fire them.
Yeah,
Fire.
straight up.
Get rid of them.
Right now
Get rid of them.
it's way too like they had a really good release of the trailer. Then this backlash comes up, and then
Get rid of them.
they're gonna fuck the whole entire thing up.
Get rid of
Like,
them.
just get rid of these two guys. If it is what it is, take the loss, fucking drop them, and just bring in someone else. Bring in someone else that's capable. Just stop dealing with that drama or whatever. Like,
I don't like headaches, and I don't think there's a fucking Advil made to deal with
for
that.
that big, an Advil that big to deal with that shit.
To deal with that headache. Fuck that, man. I'm
Hey,
good.
on a side note, going back to a couple of weeks ago, did you hear that Chadwick Boseman's brother came out and said that he's 100% for the recasting, and he thinks that if Chadwick Boseman, which I mean, they probably had this conversation with him before his passing, was alive, that he would tell Marvel that they should recast the character.
Yeah, I did hear that. And again, the more that I think about it over the year and months after his passing, the more and more that I think about it, I think that is the way to go. As if you were reading in the news or heard anything, that there's a lot of problems with Black Panther
There
2.
is.
And honestly, I don't think, and I don't know Chadwick Boseman from a can of paint, but I wouldn't see why he would have a problem with that character being recasted. Like
Yeah, I understand.
you could save yourself again. It's another headache. You could save yourself so much time, so much headache if you just recasted him. Again, people are going to be upset in the beginning, but they'll get over it.
Yeah,
Time will
definitely.
pass. Time will pass. If you knock that movie out the park, no one's gonna really be that upset about it. So yes, I did hear about his brother saying yes, he would rather the character be recasted,
It's recast.
and I agree with him at
Yeah,
this point.
I kind of
I
feel like it's not a bad thing. I think we talked about, of course, you and I talked about this a couple of days ago, or not days ago, but like a couple of shows ago. And I know that, of course, like closer to the situation when it happened, uh, Trigger and I had a conversation about it, talking about how we thought recasting would not be a bad thing, and the reason why is because you have a lot of great people in the franchise already. I think, of course, the them taking out Killmonger in the first film was a really big mistake, though.
mm,
But they've already done that with the character. They'll eventually have a soft reboot or a reboot, or find some way to bring Killmonger back, because that's one of the major villains slash members of the Black Panther storyline in general in the comic books. And yeah, man, we'll have to see. But what's
I
crazy,
was
Robert? Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, yeah, Robert does bring up a good point, but I was gonna
Yeah,
say in the beginning, I had the complete opposite view.
opposite.
Like I was like, "Don't you fucking dare recast him."
Yeah, of
But
course, of course.
but now, as I'm hearing these reports about what's happening behind the scenes, I'm like, "You guys are gonna fuck this up
Yep.
big time. You guys are gonna fuck this up." And not only that, but you're going to back yourself up into a corner that whoever takes on after this is gonna have to fucking
Oh, it's gonna be
deal
so
with.
rough on him, man.
Is gonna
It's gonna
deal
be
with.
rough, dude. It's gonna be a lot of mental anguish, man, because you're gonna have so much pressure. And
Yeah,
then if the movie, I wouldn't say the actor, because it's not really the actor's fault, but if the movie fails or comes short to what people were expecting, like up here on a pedestal, like that dude's gonna have to deal with so much hate, like so much hate mail from everybody, not just people in the community that didn't want that to happen, but like everyone saying that, oh, this is, and I mean, we talked about it before, like the beauty of that opportunity of Marvel and Disney coming together to bring a character like Black Panther to life, and
yeah.
bringing that hope to many, and bringing that type of character out, like getting the people that were behind that movement to then hate what the movement's become.
I love Chadwick Boseman as a person. I love him as Black Panther. I loved him as Jackie Robinson. I loved him
Yeah,
as James Brown. I loved him in basically everything
everything he did. Good man.
everything that he did. But I think Black Panther as a franchise is bigger than him. It's bigger than that.
Well, the
And
moment bigger than the situation, right? Not
yeah,
him, but bigger than the situation.
it's bigger than his situation, and his passing shouldn't be what brings that down.
Down. Yeah.
It shouldn't be the demise of the franchise because of his passing.
I
It's
mean, can
sad, it's tragic, it's untimely, but the movie itself represented so much for so many people, and for them to be in the space that they're in right now, it's not looking good, and it's all because they don't know what to do after
what
the
to do.
passing over the passing of Chadwick.
It's true.
So I just don't want the whole franchise itself to be crumbled over this. So if you need to recast him or recast that character to ensure that the legacy and the franchise moves forward and prominently, then you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what
And
you
yes,
gotta do.
I may have some feelings about it, but you know what? I'll get over it. I'll get over it.
Straight
I'll
up.
get over my feelings. You know?
Straight up. Hey, was there ever anything that like when the Black Panther movie came out, like did you ever go to like the premiere or anything like that?
As in like the premiere,
Like when like right at the movie theater, like
absolutely.
boom,
I
straight up.
saw the movie. I saw the movie 3 times in the movie theater.
In the theaters upstate, like up where you guys are at on the East Coast, right?
Mhm.
Did they have like any like items that they gave you if you made it to the prequel, like comic books or like little like knickknacks or something that are like something you could like take
No,
care?
no. My reward for going 3 times was watching everybody come out in like
Smiles, man.
their smiles and their dashikis and their fucking
Yeah, the love, man.
and
The
and their
fucking love.
yeah, and their shit like that. Like that to me was enjoyment. I saw people wearing some
Awesome.
wild shit
Oh, shit.
and you're blurry, yeah. I
Yeah,
saw
I
some
know I
people
just went blurry.
I saw some people come out in some wild shit and
Right now,
I
camera.
enjoyed it every fucking time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, I wanted to ask you something because we're gonna segue into a friend of ours thing. But is there anything that you're into, like in the sense of like, of course, we're all into our nerd culture, but like, is there anything in specific that you are like, you know what, I used to do this as a kid, like I always bought these and I have a bunch of them, like baseball cards or anything like that? What were you
Yeah.
into, man?
Cards. You hit the nail on the head. Cards, sports cards, baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards. I had binders and binders and binders that I still have to this day. Like I think my mother was cleaning out some of her old belongings and sent me a shipment of my old cards and shit like that, and my
Beautiful.
comics as well from back in the day. Like I always collected cards, sneakers, as you know, like that.
Yeah.
Sneakers is my thing. I collect those now. But other than those two things, not really.
Well, because I want to give a shout out, man. Going on to our next subject. It's not going to really be a subject, but we do have a really cool and interesting fellow that is a new sponsor of the show. I want to give them a shout out because they're really, really great people. Me, myself, growing up, of course, super into comic books, but me, dude, I love like you have to know me, man. I am a super big dude when it comes to like the specific hope heroes. Like
Uh-huh.
my beautiful Iron Giant, my best friend
Mhm.
Christella got me for my birthday from Kaboom. I got my fucking, of course, All Might from My Hero Academia. Yo, check this out. You'll trip on this one, dude. I have literally, dude, like right here on my desk, like one of the most posable Godzilla toys
That's
like
awesome.
ever known to man. It's got like 36 intricate spots. The tail wiggles.
Oh
Like
shit.
it is so rad. And it's the cool looking one. I like this Godzilla. This is like the
Yeah.
legit, like freaking new fucking bear looking
That's the new
Godzilla.
one. Yeah.
But I want to give a shout out to our sponsors because if you guys are ever involved in looking for anything that are collectibles, you guys need to check out these guys. They're known as the Collectors. They're here in McAllen, Texas. Brian, I'll have to introduce you to them when you get here.
Awesome.
Hopefully, soon you get here one of these days again.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I want to give a shout out to them and I want to play their video real quick so you guys can see it. And you guys get some information about it and stuff. Check them out real quick. They have a nice little shop. We made them a cool little video. Shout out to David and Fred. There's Fred.
Hello, and welcome to the Collectors.
Hey, Fred. Welcome us all.
Right.
Yeah, man. So me and my boy Alex from Everyday Media, we went by the shop and we did a
Are
nice
you
little
looking for
cut
Funko
video
Pops? We
for
got
him.
everything from
These
comics,
guys
exclusives to
have
chases.
one of the biggest pop collections I've ever fucking seen. They got a
I
25-inch Iron Man collection.
I have always
What about
wanted
statues?
to
We have
get
everything from
into
anime,
the pop
Marvel, and DC
collecting.
available.
They're cool, man. They're fucking cool, and they have so many, man. So many. Like in general, the Funko company that creates the
So if you're
pops.
looking to build your collection, be sure to stop by the Collectors.
That
We are
cool
located in
ass fucking painting in the
3937
back.
South McCall Road, Edinburgh, Texas.
Guys, make sure you hit up the Collectors. They're great dudes. My
yeah.
boy David, he's one of the main dudes that runs it. He's actually moving to North Dakota like next week. So Fred, the guy in the video,
Holy
you guys will be
shit.
seeing there a lot. You guys need to hit him up. But what's cool about those guys is like once a month, which is actually coming up this Sunday, they do what they call vendors nights. And what they do is from 12 o'clock in the afternoon to 9 p.m., they set up outdoor vendor events where they have like benches and tables of people that come and put up like a farmer's market.
Okay.
But of all these different companies that come that have also collectibles, and they do, the tumbler cups. I don't know if you guys do a lot of farmers markets up there and where you're at.
We're called the
Yep.
Garden State, dude.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I like to hear. Yeah. So we're gonna do some. We of course. I mean, we're all fucking ranchers and shit like that down here. We got all that stuff going on all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a vendors night. Me and my best friend Christella. She is probably one prolific cosplayers down here in the valley. Probably one of the best builders, if not the best builder. Straight up, Christella builds some amazing stuff.
I was gonna say, man, don't sell her short, bro. She's the best in the valley, bro.
Yeah, straight
Talk
up, man.
that shit, man.
Yeah, and she does amazing stuff. I get the opportunity. I am very privileged to be able to work with her. I get to do her photography and I get to show off her amazing cosplay builds. So shout out to Christella, CC Builds. If you guys want to follow her on Instagram, she's amazing. Go check out her stuff. And yeah, she's gonna be out there with us. We're gonna be selling. She has a little vendor spot that she does. She sells stickers, and I sell my 3D prints. It's just a really, really fun way to bring our community out to the open. And what a privilege to be able to work with these guys from the Collectors LLC. Guys, if you guys get a chance, go check them out. They're really cool dudes. Add them up on Facebook and on Instagram. We post about them, literally almost every week. Go check them out, man. They're super cool.
You need to pass the word on to him that he needs to like open up like a online shipping type of deal, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
Buy some shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what? I was talking to the guys from Eat Texas, right? EatTexas.com. Remember the guys?
Yeah.
Eat Texas. The guys that were our last sponsor. Shout out to EatTexas.com. You guys are so rad. We love you. Thank you guys so much for helping the podcast out. There is a very thin line about sending CBD over to the New York, Jersey area. So like I have to there's some laws, but I gotta plan.
I'm never getting high, bro. I'll just face it.
You're like, I'm never gonna get it, man.
I'm never getting high, bro.
Dude,
just face
I have a plan. I have a big plan. I'm gonna send you a gift basket and I'm gonna get it together. We talked about this last week, and I'm gonna send you a bunch of like Mexican candies, dude.
Hell yeah.
With all the badass chili, because down here, if it don't got chili, it ain't Mexican. Gotcha. So like, dude, I guarantee you go to church, you do the grape and the wafer, it's got chamoy and Tabasco sauce on it. Like, then the grapes juice is straight up like, yeah, you know what's up. It's got tequila in it. It's got a worm in it. It's got a fucking worm in it. The fucking church guy comes in, he's got a sombrero on. He's like, oh, Jesus Cristo. I'm gonna send you a care basket of a bunch of gummies that have like, of course, the chamoy and chili. It's one of like the greatest things. But I'm gonna send you some of those gummies in that package. I'm just gonna I'm gonna hide it in the middle or some shit. I ain't gonna let no one stop me from giving my boy some stuff up there in Jersey. I ain't gonna stop. They ain't gonna let them stop me.
That sounds amazing. Just don't have the fucking feds at your fucking door.
They're gonna stop me for like 4 gummies and shit.
Is this your care package that you tried to send to New Jersey?
And I'm gonna show up with like the big ass mustache or somewhere. No, sir. It's just a gift. It's just a gift. Oh man, that'd be solid. No, but shout out to the Collectors, guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring us. We'll see you guys Sunday at Vendors Nights there at the shop, which is right there. If you live here in the Valley, down on the corner of Trenton and McCall, right where Walmart is. There is a badass little vendor shop next to Bourbon Street. It's a nice little shop. The Collectors, you'll see us out there. We'll be out there all day, 12 to night. But yeah, you see even fucking Robert's like the FBI.
Whoop,
LOL.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
And the sound of the police.
On your ass, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get right into the nitty gritty.
Let's get it.
It's 950. No, it's 950. 950. And we are getting first into our talks, of course, of Hawkeye episode 5. So here we go. We had a really great episode. A little bit of a non-spoiler. What did you think? Rating of a 9 to 10 or 1 to 5? What did you think of this episode? We're episode 5 in. We are literally 1 away from the final episode.
Yes. I'm going to grade it 1 to 10. That just feels right. Grading it something from 1 to 10.
More detail, right?
Yeah, it feels better. This episode, I'll probably give it a 7. And I'm only giving it a 7 because of the reveal at the end.
Oh.
So I'll give it a 7.
That's a good call.
I'll give it a 7. I did enjoy this episode again. A lot of the questions that I had that I figured they would try to answer before the season finale, I really didn't get answered. But I will tell you, and I'm before you even, I'm just gonna dive into my thoughts onto the of this the episode. But the interrogation between Yelena and Kate, phenomenal. Chef's kiss.
There was
Chef's
something
kiss.
about that was like I needed that. Like that was something so
Chef's kiss.
fresh and new for Marvel to do that
Chef's
I
kiss.
was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I
And,
was not.
and honestly, you get to see their banter, you get to see their relationship. And you also at the same time, you're realizing that this is the new Hawkeye and the new Black Widow in the same room talking
Macaroni and
shit.
cheese, dude, with
Yeah,
sriracha.
with some sriracha, bro. Just kicking it. And the whole time, you're sitting like, yo, what the fuck is what am I watching? And then you're like, oh shit, she's interrogating her. And the way that she mirrored her, Elena tried to mirror what she thought a 23-year-old would want to talk like and want to talk about and all that shit. And just realizing that's that she and then realizing that Kate is smart as shit. She ran down Kate's jacket. Yo, dude, you're double major. You're a fucking 3.8.
She
Like you're
knows
like
all her history, her mom, everybody.
knew everything. And then realizing, and if you think about it throughout this whole season, Kate does some dumb shit, but she is extremely smart. She found out that she knew beforehand that Clint was Ronin. She pieced that shit together.
She pieced it together pretty fast.
She pieced that shit together. Like she's fucking smart as fuck, bro.
Yep.
Like and I'm glad that that's going to be my Hawkeye replacement. And Yelena Florence Pugh, every time she's on screen, she's knocking it out the park.
I'm in love with her. She's so amazing.
I didn't see that coming.
I did
She's
not. Yeah, I
knocking
did not see that
park,
coming.
and I'm glad that that's going to be my Black Widow moving forward. They both, that scene alone is the reason why it's getting a 7, and then I'll actually give it a 7.5. The 0.5 is because of the fight scene between Hawkeye and
Echo.
and Echo,
And
the reveal.
the bros or whatever.
Yeah,
Mafia.
and the reveal. So 7.5, I'll give that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna probably stick to a 7 though.
Okay,
Still probably
I'll
gonna stick
bump
to
it
a
up a
7.
little bit. I'll bump it up. Now I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
talked myself into bumping it up, but yeah, I'll bump it up a little bit.
I'm gonna stick it to a 7. The only reason why I'm gonna stick it to a 7 is because yes, the scene with Kate Bishop and Yelena was a really, really cool and creative way of redoing the Black Widow, thank you for your information scenes kind of thing,
Yes.
where she would instigate like conversations with people without them knowing that they were giving information.
Yeah.
Like Yelena was doing the same thing, but the episode itself, I'm feeling that the story is a lot lackluster.
Well, because
now,
they're not giving you, they're not answering any of your questions.
yeah, like it's
It
not
just
really like I don't know.
it
It's
just
just
continues. It just continues and continues.
I think it's a good origin story for the Kate Bishop character.
hmm
But the story itself is still just very like everything. Okay, so the character development, consider it like this, easiest way to put it. The character development of each character is great. It's really great. It's really, really great. The story sucks. Like the story of what they're trying to tell sucks. Because the Echo story, it's shallow. Like, how is it that this girl who figured out who Clint Barton's family is and whatnot couldn't figure out who killed her dad, knowing that it wasn't the Ronin? Because if this person is that smart, like literally Daredevil with no sight could have told that the person's weight was off.
I'm
You know
gonna
what I mean?
I'm gonna call you out on that one, because there's no way you're gonna tell me that you're a comic book fan and call bullshit on that. That is this show is the most comic booky
Oh
show
yeah, don't get me
of
wrong.
all
It's
time.
comic book accurate. Like it's
Like
very, very accurate.
like that is
But there's
exactly how a comic book would read.
But that was the reason why in the very beginning I was like, why the fuck do I need a Kate Bishop Hawkeye show? Because that comic book sucks. Like nobody likes Kate Bishop. No one gives a shit. Like maybe some like a handful of comic book. It's like the Moon Knight character, people that like him. Like he's a cool character, but there's a handful of people that like that character.
Okay.
He's not, you cannot put the franchise of Moon Knight up against Iron Man because the Iron Man franchise or Spider-Man, the Spider-Man franchise is ginormous, but you won't see Moon Knight on a shirt more than you'll see Spider-Man on a shirt. You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
So like Hawkeye, he was brought back to the limelight because of the Avengers movies. If you would have made a Hawkeye movie before Avengers, no one would have given a fuck.
You can say that about a
Yeah, pretty
lot
much
of
any
the,
character. Yeah, pretty much any. Because
pretty
you
much
can say same
any
about Guardians of the
character in
Galaxy,
the
right?
Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah, you can say same about Guardians of the Galaxy, but
You can say that about Captain America. You can say that about Iron Man. All of those characters.
So there's always this really interesting thing that they do with characters that have like a disability, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is that they always figure things out faster than people that are just that have the vision and intelligence or whatever.
Yeah.
And the idea of knowing that, you heard it here on the show when we were talking about episode 2, where I was like, yo, that's not Hawkeye. Like that Ronin guy that killed her dad isn't Hawkeye. Like that guy doesn't move the same. The body shape is different. Like it's not him. It's going to be Cause.
Yeah.
Like I called that shit in episode 3.
Yeah.
I saw that shit. You're going to tell me that the girl in the film with the superpowers that can take a bullet or take an arrow, can fucking tank a widow and can figure out Clint Barton's family from a watch, you know, just bypass that shit. Like it doesn't make sense in that sense, but I guess it's like, I mean, the audience were supposed to figure shit out like this, right? Like it's supposed to be written as the characters aren't. I get that. There's just something about it that usually if it was a Daredevil show or something like that, there would be something that she would have been like, that was very weird. I do remember this about that person fighting the Ronin hand to hand and meeting him. She would have been like, wait, how is it that you're on the back foot lefty and he was righty? There would have been, it wouldn't have to be that Ronin would come in and be like, Hawkeye, it wasn't me that killed your dad. It was somebody else. Bye. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was very, very light writing.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I like the show and I like it. My only frustration is that I think they're going to run out of time. And I've been calling it for the past like two shows.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna run out of time, and I think they're gonna leave a lot on the table. And maybe I don't know, maybe they're gonna address it in other shows, or maybe they're gonna address it in another season. But I kind of want some resolution in this season for me a little bit. But I mean, honestly, I'm not mad at the writing. I'm not really mad at the acting is top notch. Just this is some of the best acting of a MCU Disney show so far. Besides, I think WandaVision.
That's why I'm saying like the characters themselves, fantastic. The characters, their interactions, their words, the way that the mannerisms are, they're building very great characters. But the story, the situation that they're in is very lackluster itself.
Okay.
They just introduced right at the ending of the episode probably one of the biggest reveals.
Spoiler.
In any, well, I mean, I won't say anything yet until we. Oh, you know what? Is it okay if we talk spoilers?
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Okay?
It's been dead.
I think. Okay, so they finally introduced the Kingpin from the Netflix series, which opens up a whole new Pandora's box into the Marvel universe, because this goes back all the way back to Winter Soldier. What we were talking about when the Russo brothers said, well, we don't know if that was the Punisher that saved Nick Fury by stopping the cops when the Winter Soldier showed up. So now there's a huge possibility that we may get a flashback one day of the Punisher driving the UPS truck into the cops that saves Nick Fury's life in Winter Soldier. Then you'll end up finding out that he was already after the Kingpin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's cool if they can kind of like put the thread through the needle or whatever in that moment. They can thread the needle with that situation. There's a lot of stuff that they could do from here on out. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of awesome stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about another cameo in that sense. Of course, no comments. Don't say anything about it in the comments. We'll talk about it later.
We'll get to it.
But yes, we had the introduction of Fisk, Kingpin, as the person who hired Yelena from the ending of Black Widow. So this opens up a lot of questions, as in then who is the one that we're working for with US Agent? Are they going to take the story from the Kingpin and they're going to take him instead of Osborn from the when they made the Dark Avengers? Because the Dark Avengers in the comic books was a group of Avengers, which is like the Thunderbolts, right? Which is a group of villains who become heroes by the government. But in the Dark Avengers story, Norman Osborn is Iron Man. He hires a bunch of characters to look like the Avengers, to be the Avengers when the Avengers are absent, when they're off planet. Are they going to substitute Norman Osborn's character for the Kingpin for this? Like, what ramifications do you think that
I don't think that's where they're gonna head towards this. Honestly, I don't think they even know. I think it's still in the infant stages of where they're gonna go. I
It's
really
crazy,
just,
though.
no, it's definitely crazy. I do like the fact that it did tie into the end of Black Widow and finding out that either Fisk or the mother hired
Yelena to go after Clint.
the Countess, and then the Countess hired Yelena to go after Clint. It's all interesting. And again, I just hope that there is some type of resolution that I can feel like it was like the season is wrapping up. Because we all, I mean, I don't know, you've seen certain clips from the trailers from even before the show even came out that this is all leading up to this one party that is going to happen in this next episode, and you're going to get Yelena in there, you're going to have everybody all in one vicinity, and I just hope it just wraps up. And
there's a lot of stuff, man, because
a lot of things.
Are we gonna, do you think, okay, one question,
What's up?
do you think we'll get resolution for Yelena and Hawkeye in the next episode?
I don't know how when there's going to be some type of confrontation between maybe,
I mean, because Yelena's pretty serious, man.
Maybe
Like, I'm okay.
I think you know what? Let me take that back. I think now that Yelena is watching
The
mom, maybe she's starting to put things together, and maybe she may at some point in the next episode have a conversation with Clint. They still haven't met each other yet, besides the fight. So they haven't even had a conversation yet. I don't think this show is going to end with her just shooting him in the head and that's it, or her trying to kill him and that's it. They're going to have some type of talk, and he's going to start crying, saying, "I loved your sister," and then
going back to that scene where he's talking to the memoriam.
Yeah,
plaque,
bro. I'm telling you, the acting,
Jeremy Renner, man.
The acting is top notch, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like I really do like this show. I just don't want them. Why is it only 6 episodes? That's pissing me off so much. Like this is gold right here. Like this show was gold. And again, like you said, this is coming from 2 characters no one gave a fuck about. No one gave a fuck about.
No one even cares.
No one gives a fuck about Hawkeye.
Well, Hawkeye, the guy, a little bit more than the Kate Bishop character, because he plays a very important role in the comic books. Yeah, he plays very. What's up,
D? What's up, bro? What's up, man?
Yeah, he plays a very important character in most of the comic book arcs and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, Hawkeye, Clint Barton, like, yeah, him, he does resonate a little bit more with the fans. But Kate Bishop, she's still fairly new, and they have
name one person that's not knocking out the park. Jeremy Renner's knocking out the park. Kate Bishop's knocking out the park. Yelena's knocking it out the park. The mother's knocking out the park. The fucking Jack Duquesne, he's fucking great.
Okay, so that was the other thing that I was kind of. Are you concerned at all with the way the episode started and they arrested him? And do you think that they wrote out his character so that they don't have to mess with him and bring him in next season?
No, I think
really hope not, man.
No. I think that was all staged. I think that the mother, it was either staged or the mother set him up, but he's definitely coming back. He's the swordsman. He's definitely going to have some type of confrontation with somebody with a fucking sword. I guarantee that. Like, there's going to be something where he comes back in, and we're getting that.
By chance, do you think he's trying to pull some kind of Ocean's 11? Like on the mom, like that he's part of another franchise that's trying to steal from the Kingpin?
No, the mom is well too connected. She has a security company, dude. Like I think if anything, they're in cahoots. Like they're in it together. And again, that whole arresting was staged. Is it not weird, or am I just nitpicking over the fact that the cops wanted to talk to Kate like 3 episodes ago, and she just never talked to him?
Yeah, they were like, "Come by the shop. We need to have a discussion with you." Like, they didn't go pick her ass up, or they didn't do nothing like that. They're not looking for her.
They were literally at the house arresting Jack,
Yeah, and
and
they were
just
right in
walked
front of
right
her
by,
too.
and walked right by her like
But that was
nothing.
like, I think that was the FBI. Like, I
No, it
think
was
that
the
was
same
like,
guy. The
was it
same
really?
guy. The same black guy that arrested Jack
Oh
was the
shit!
one
I
that
didn't
was
know.
on the phone with Kate,
Damn,
saying
I
like
didn't even notice that shit.
you need to come down to the station and we need to talk. I
Damn, I
don't
didn't even notice
know.
that shit.
I don't know if they just
And that's
said
because they were
fuck it.
dealing with arson, bro. Like from the fucking lighting of the fucking house on fire, kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of a little bit more important.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I again, I do thoroughly like this show. I don't know if I would put it above any of the other shows, but it's not letting me down. I just don't like the fact that it's only 6 episodes. It's the shortest season out of all the ones that we've gotten so far.
Yeah, so far, and it's actually probably one of the most entertaining and most like intriguing.
Yeah, and it's the most I keep saying it's the most comic booky, if that's a word, but I like that. Like you've given me all of the dramatics of all the other fucking shows. Now you're gonna give me some comic book shit, and I want more of it.
And I want more. Well, and that's, you see, and this is like a huge argument we've heard before in the past when it comes to this. Like, should they follow close to the source material or not? Like, does it work or does it not? Literally, there are shots in this story. Like, okay, do you remember in the last episode, they did that crazy car scene that you liked, right?
Or like
It was like 2 episodes ago, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember how there's a charger and they don't grab the charger, they grab the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason why they didn't grab the charger is because the charger's in the comic book.
I
Like,
did know
literally,
that. I did know
literally
that.
that
I did know that.
charger styles, color, and everything was literally
No,
made.
actually, if I'm not mistaken, there is a car chase in there with the Charger. So
Yeah, one of the
basically,
dudes.
same
Yeah,
scene.
it's one of the dudes.
It's
Cars.
basically the same scene in the comic book, but instead of them having the older car, they actually
They have the
had
charger.
the
Yeah,
Charger. Yeah.
yeah. So it's a very like they're being very like respectable to the source material, to that arc of Kate Bishop. It's really, really great. Finally, you know, us comic book guys get our nod, and it's being enjoyed. You know, people are actually enjoying it. Nobody's laughing at the idea of them getting something close to their comic accurate, you know, parts. And I mean, that's the other thing too, man. Like, a lot of these newer stories that are coming out are kind of getting closer to the source material. It's almost like the companies, the franchises themselves are not afraid to say, hey, you know what? Let's make the colors of the character just the way it is in the comic because it works there. Why can't it work here? It's not silly anymore. Because back in the day when they would make these characters, they would say, oh, well, we can't use that kind of uniform because no one's going to like it because it looks stupid. But then you look at it and it's like, no, man, it doesn't look stupid. It looks fantastic. Looks fantastic on camera. So let's go ahead and stay. So we're going to give this a 7.5. You give
I'll
it
give
a
it a
7.5. I'll give it a 7. Like I said, I think the story is a little bit shy. I hope they have.
But wait, hold on 1 second. We're not getting a lot of engagement in the comments. I want to know what you guys thought in the comments. I want to know what you guys thought about this episode, because like you know how we felt about it, but I want to know how you guys felt about it, because maybe you could think that fucking me and Chris are up for rockers and it deserved a fucking 10 out of 10. Like, I want to know exactly what you guys felt about it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that were, you know, very, very hyped about this stuff.
Hell yeah.
So again, like, yeah, there's just something about it for me. Like, I just think, you know, you're onto something. I think there needs to be a very, very important resolve at the end of this. Okay, but do you want like a straight up Kingpin reveal in the next episode?
I think we're gonna get it, whether I want it or not. I think we're gonna get it. Yeah, I think so. I think the fact that you're only gonna give me 6 episodes of this season, yeah, bring them out.
Nice, very, very cool. And do you think that them coming out like 7 out of 10? Alex, what's up, my dude? Yeah, Alex went with us earlier. It was me, Alex, Christella, Gilbert, and my friend Nathan. we all went to go see SpiderMan together. Alex saw it, man. We're gonna talk
Alex,
SpiderMan later.
Alex, let me know. No spoilers, but Alex, let me know if you liked it or not. If you liked the movie,
SpiderMan movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also shout out to Alex too, because he's the guy that edited that video for the collector, man. He
Good
did
shit.
an
Good shit.
amazing
That was
job.
a great job.
My boys,
Great job.
Alex and Gilbert from Everyday Media. So they did an amazing job. I got to go help him, and he's the artist behind it. He's the amazing dude. But yeah, straight up.
Wait, before we move on, I have a really weird question.
Shoot.
What do you think about Grills and the LARPers in the show?
I think it's cute. I think it's cute. I think it's cool. I think it's a necessity because you have all of this like so much seriousness around all of these characters because they all come from like a serious
and some
like real shit.
Yeah.
And then you get this dynamic from them, but you see like what I think is cool is that the LARPers, even though the idea of LARPing has this big connotation of being like nerds and useless.
Yeah.
Like, and it's nothing against people that do LARPing, nothing against you guys. I love that stuff. But they're all like cops and like they're all like
prominent
people
yeah.
in the community that are like first responders. So they have some real pull.
Yeah.
But the idea and the psychology behind LARPing is people that want to be like superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So like seeing an actual like Clint Barton and Avenger interacting with these dudes like they're just like guys in a bar like Cheers. And Kate Bishop, of course, like, yeah, I think Kate Bishop's a little bit of a turd for just like knowing that she's using these people, but still like just, you know what I mean? Like, but Clint Barton's just a straight up good dude with these guys. Like he literally, I loved the fact that he went to Grills.
Yo,
like,
I love
that. I love
that scene. That scene to me, I don't know why, but I love that scene that he went to his crib and he's like, "Yo, you mind just holding? Like, just watching dogs?" Like, dude, you're not staying at a fucking hotel. Yo, you got my couch. You got my fucking dude. You got my fucking bed, bro. Like,
you know what I think it is? Because it shows Clint Barton's humbleness.
Yeah.
To not think that even though he's not a dude with superpowers, it goes back to the same speech that he told Wanda. Yeah. He goes, "I'm here with a dude with a shield, a guy that can fly, you who can shoot fireballs from your hands, and we're fighting aliens and robots, and I'm just a dude with a bow."
What if, and this is what I thought about you.
Oh yeah.
When I was thinking about this, what if the LARPers are taking on the role of that circus shit you were talking about before?
The evil circus? Oh shit. And they're gonna be like the people that are part of Hawkeye's band of merry men?
Maybe they're not gonna be evil, but maybe that's like their
so that would be like the role of the Oracle in Batman, which is Gordon's daughter, right? Where she ends up, she gets shot, she gets wheelchaired, but she becomes this person, the person, she's the Ned to Spider-Man. She's the one that kind of like, hey, you get on the comms and I'll let you know who's coming. I'll listen to the scanners and tell you when the cops are on their way. Yeah. Let's all work together. But then again, it's like Hawkeye is so used to being a loner boner that like having these people actually have his back. Like I think he needs that. Yeah, I think that's the next developing part of his character that's important for us as the watcher to see how much he needs people in his life. People in his life. And it's literally to kind of cope because I can't be the only one. Yeah, I can't be the only one who feels for him with the PTSD and the like him having like his hearing messed up. Yeah. Like you're kind of like, fuck, dude. Like it's so sad that he's just a dude. Like now he can't hear. And I think that whole part of that trauma of him removing the headphones and having silence and talking to the memoriam, like I think
he uses that, like and he uses that move, the removing of the hearing aid. He uses that as a way just to detach from everything around him,
and it's like, so smart, dude. It's so smart,
and so that he can. And if you notice, he only does it when he wants to detach and when he's talking to Nat, when he's thinking about Nat, when he's thinking about the shit from the past, like when he's focusing, like he focuses on that shit. Like
Like,
that
it's
shit,
good.
that shit is deep, dude. Like, but no, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, I feel for this man, and and I think that's the reason why the LARPers get us in our feels, because we know that he needs them.
Yeah, and there's a part of me too that they don't like. Okay, so we had one part of the episode where Clint Barton snapped at Kate Bishop
Mm-hmm.
because she still kind of takes this like it's a game.
Yeah,
And that's like right after Yelena shows up and he's like, a Black Widow assassin is here to kill me. We're not fucking around anymore.
yeah,
And I still don't think that she gets the dramatic effect of how important it is for her to understand that like life and death is a real thing.
yeah,
But then again, that's also the problem with the LARPers. And that's where he's probably scared too, because he's thinking there's more people he needs to protect that
mhm,
he doesn't want to get close to. But it was so cool to see him open up to Grills and, ask Grills to help him out, that, and
yeah,
Grills let him stay on the couch. And it was good. It was a really good episode. I really hope they dynamically build that to like that whole, like, it sounds weird, but the family vibe that they get from like Thor when they have all the scientist people of Natalie Portman's family or friends together and Thor there, and
yeah,
they're eating breakfast and Thor's cooking for them, and they have all of that camaraderie, like that family camaraderie. And I hope that they have that, and like Grills' house becomes like their Hawkeye lair or whatever. Like I kind of hope that. I really do. There's a part of me that hopes that Clint gets to see his family for Christmas. I really hope he
yeah.
gets back to him. I just feel like it's going to be a little too big. We did not get a reveal for the watch, which is kind of disappointing. And I still don't feel the Mockingbird thing even more from this last episode, that I feel like it's not Mockingbird.
Dude, no. When she said, all right, so when he calls her on the phone and he's explaining that I'm about to I'm
I'm about
about
to
to
do
go,
some shit.
I'm about
Yeah.
to do some wild crap. And she's like, you didn't call here looking for permission. And then like one of the last things she said before he hung up was,
I'll always
you
believe in you or something.
before that, I think she said, you know that if anyone understands what you're going through,
It's
I
me.
do. It's me.
Yes.
So there's something there, dude.
You
Like
feel like the Mockingbird is still a theory?
yeah, I think
Okay.
it's still there. I think because of that one sentence, because of that last thing that she said to him, I'm like, okay, that's like a nod to there is a backstory there. It
There's
may not
nothing
have
there.
to do with the watch. I think the watch now, I think you may be right. Maybe the watch isn't hers. Maybe the watch is Kingpin's, or maybe the watch is
Someone's right.
it's someone else's.
It's got to be a major player though.
But there is a backstory there. She even if the watch isn't hers, I'm still on board with her being a Mockingbird. Like
I think that's fantastic. I really
think
do.
yeah.
But yeah, guys, what do you guys think of the Hawkeye episodes? Are you
Oh
guys
yeah.
digging it? What are your theories for episode 6 coming out next week, Tuesday? If you're like me and you wait till like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, or if you're a normal human being and wait and it comes out on Wednesday, um, I think it's great. I think so far overall the Hawkeye show could literally possibly be my best Marvel series. But now since Kingpin is involved, not really, because Daredevil and Punisher is still way fucking beyond that. They still kill that fucking they still
Punisher
kill
is
all this
like
stuff, dude. Just knowing that the Netflix stuff is all a part of this now with Kingpin, like, oh
yeah.
man. Woo, so cool. So fucking cool where we're gonna go next. So
Hell
cool
yeah.
we're gonna go next. Okay, here we go.
Let's do
Onwards
it.
to what everyone here is here for. We are gonna start, of course, in respect to all of our homies that have not seen this, but now we're on to
You
our
guys need
next.
to get on it, by the way. If you guys have not seen this movie, get on it.
Yep. But we are gonna go first with our reactions,
Yes.
non-spoilery review
Non-spoiler.
of, you guessed it, Spider-Man.
Let's do it.
So do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So I got to see the movie.
Overall reaction to Spider-Man.
Overall reaction.
Wait, first tell us who you saw the movie with, where'd you go, what time? I need the whole backstory. I need everything.
So we went to the 420 showing in McAllen at Hollywood USA. Regular, we didn't do IMAX or none of that cool stuff. We just straight basic work. Just let's watch the movie. Yeah, we went at 4:00 today, actually. So I didn't get to see it premiere night. I saw it tonight. I wasn't bothered by any spoilers, even though I was online 100%. I think the scarier part, and this is just giving me a heads up, and everybody out there a heads up next time. There's a lot of people that are dropping in social medias that do not give you the opportunity to know it's something of a spoiler. So be careful next time with Instagram and TikTok, because the moment you scroll past some shit, like it automatically starts up and they can ruin some shit for you. There were people out there that were trying to ruin stuff, but it wasn't anything of a spoiler that I didn't already consider.
Yeah.
It's the easiest I could say it. But overall experience, I went with best friends, my Christella, Alex, Gilbert, Nathan, all my good buddies. We all had a great time. Sat up on the top seats, didn't get up to the front, had a good view of everything. Overall, the experience, I would say like an 8.5, 8.59. I'd give it probably, of course, knocking out any Marvel movie that came out this past year. Literally, Shang-Chi and the Eternals, like they can't hang with this. But yeah, it was up there, man. It was up there. It was really exciting. It was fun. It was a hell of a good time. Hell of a good time. What about you?
Wow. Wow. Now that I'm thinking about it. All right, so let me just give you a backstory. So I originally had bought the tickets the day that they dropped. All right, or actually the day or so after they dropped. I didn't want to be without a ticket, so a couple days after they dropped, I bought my ticket. I bought for the 11 p.m. show for last night. I was thinking that I was gonna have to work until about 9, which would have gave me a couple hours to get to the movie. Comes to find out, I had off yesterday, so now I'm just sitting at home on my ass until 11 p.m. until I had to watch this movie, which fucking sucks. I wish I would have knew ahead of time. I would have went earlier in the day.
Oh yeah,
but
it's 2 hours, right?
But yeah, it would have been 2 hours, but it ended up being the entire day. But I did go. I went by myself. I wasn't gonna drag anybody else out at 11 o'clock to go watch the movie. No one likes Marvel shit as much as I do, so I'm not gonna ask anybody to do that. You know what I like to do? If I go, and I know this is weird, people don't go to the movies by themselves and shit like that, but I don't care. Judge me. But if I do go to movies by myself, you know what I like to do? I like to get like the seat next to the handicap seat in that
that open bar area,
in that open
area.
row. So I have like mad like leg room and shit like that. Like as soon as you come in through like the little the walkthrough and you turn,
you already got it.
You're seeing my ass sitting right there like reclined and shit. So yeah, I got one of those seats. And honestly, I liked the movie. I didn't like it as much as a lot of other people that I saw online. I went dark for this movie, by the way. Like I deleted.
Yes, you did. You weren't even in the chat for like 3 days, dude.
I deleted Instagram. I deleted Facebook. I deleted Messenger. I deleted everything. Like I said my goodbyes to you guys in the chat, and I was like, I will see you guys in a couple of days. And I sure did. You know what? And I usually do that anyway. From time to time, I'll just take a couple of days off of social media because it gets too much. So this wasn't anything. It wasn't anything new to me. So I saw the movie, and again, I liked the movie. I didn't like it as much as a lot of other people liked it. I do like the journey it took us through. I do like the interactions between or the maturity of the relationship between Peter and MJ and Ned. I did like that aspect of it. The first third of the movie was kind of slow. But I guess by the end of the second act into the third act is when it picked up, and that's what saved the movie for me. I was kind of on the fence whether or not I was going to enjoy it, but by the end of the second act into the beginning of the third act and then the whole third act, I was on board with it. So I think if I were to rate it, I'll probably give it like a 8 out of 10. I'll give it like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind it. I think this movie was an event. Yeah. I think it was a carnival, not a carnival ride, like a state fair ride. Like this was a roller coaster. There was emotion, there was drama, there was a great amount of that comedy you're really expecting from a SpiderMan film. I think all the actors that were in it were very cool, were very fun. I think, of course, from the trailers and everything, you know that there's a lot of like nostalgia that's put back into this film that I kind of feel did the movie a justice. It was a nice partial disconnect from what we're used to seeing in a regular Marvel superhero franchise movie.
Yeah.
And of course, the banter that we get from Spider-Man films is all there, plus more, because comparing Tom Holland to the previous iterations of the past Spider-Man films, each one of them is so dynamically different that it literally helps you respect all the work that's gone into the past Spider-Man films. So like, you know, it's very, to me, it's very, very cool because a lot of people, and you could tell me if I'm thinking about this in the wrong way, but the idea of when a movie comes out and someone says, "Oh man, this movie was so good, I liked it better than the best," or the other one.
Okay.
Isn't that the whole point of them making a movie past that one, because you already have that one built and you just make it better than that one? Shouldn't
I
that something that we should already be like, yeah, well, it's supposed to be. If it's not, that's not good.
What
That's
are we
what
doing?
yeah, then
Yeah,
what are we doing?
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. But to be honest with you, out of the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, this was the first one that actually felt like a Spider-Man fucking movie.
Yeah, more like a comic book, like accurate.
Yeah,
Like there were
this
so
one,
many cool
this one,
things.
this one felt like a Spider-Man arc, like a Spider-Man um movie with everything that was going on, with the emotions that were going on. It's an emotional roller coaster, and that's what Spider-Man does. Like a Spider-Man, his whole story, his whole life is a roller coaster. And I think the first 2 movies were kind of like kiddie, and there really
They were silly.
wasn't.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
they were
silly.
they
There
were
was something
silly.
silly about them.
There wasn't much at stake. But this one, you felt the drama. Like, you felt the drama. You were forced into the drama. You had no choice but to acknowledge that there is drama in this kid's life, and he's got to deal with it. He's got to man up, and he's got to and honestly, and again, not only does he have to man up, but there were so many. I got so mad at Peter Parker in this movie because he made it so clear he's a kid.
Oh yeah,
He made so many dumb
choices.
choices and so many dumb statements came out of his mouth. And I'm like, fuck, man, you guys finally did it. You guys finally made me remember that he's a fucking kid.
Yeah, good call. That's a really, really good call.
Like, good job.
Before we get to spoiler discussions,
I'm ready for spoilers.
yeah,
Dude.
I think everybody, of course, everybody in the comment section, I can't wait. We're going to talk comments in a little bit, but we're going to give everybody a warning first. But before we go there, do you feel that the $40 million in box office tickets, the advertisement, the hype, everything that was before this, was it all worth it?
That's rough. That's a tough question. I want to say yes because I enjoyed it, but I also want to say no because I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably should have garnered with all the hype that was surrounding it. I kind of want to say that yeah, it was worth it. I want to say it's worth it because it brought people out to the movie theater. I At the end of the day, I enjoyed the movie. It just had a couple things that I could have liked to have seen done differently. How about yourself? Do you think it was worth all the hype?
Um, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Like, I think it's good to know that in our life history, in our world, in our multiverse, in our dimension of universe that we're in, this was the movie that brought it all back. Like, I feel good about going out. I feel normal. I don't feel scared. Seeing the theater, explode in excitement for like the randomest shit, even for stuff that, like I said, in post or in pre-production, stuff that we had already seen in trailers, people still getting fucking super screamy and hyped about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
felt good. And this was crazy because it reminded me of the movie going experience, about how important that is. That even though we have this really cool opportunity, or had a really cool opportunity to not leave the house and see it in our own fruition in our boxers, or naked if we wanted to, with fucking hamburgers on us and pizza or
That sounds like
whatever.
that sounds like a mood though. That sounds like
Yeah.
a fucking mood, bro. I'm telling
but
you.
but could you put that mood into the same vibe of Avengers Assemble and grabs the hammer? Like,
Honestly, and I hate to use the word, but we were slaves to this marketing promotion. We had no choice.
yeah,
It was only in theaters. It was so hyped. It was so big. If you were even what's worse than, not worse, but what's on the lesser food chain than like a normie, whatever that is, you still had to see this fucking movie. Like you had to watch this movie. I don't. I think you put it in the as a banner, but did you put up Vince's question? I think that's a really good question from
yeah.
Vince.
From all the movies of 2021, do you think No Way Home is the best movie of 2021?
Great
I mean, well,
question.
2020, I guess, because we're going into 2020. Well, no, 2022,
Oh, we're
right?
going
So
to two.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. My bad. I'm still a whole year behind. Look at that. Um, um, shit. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think Dune is a masterpiece.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
not.
think it's yeah, I don't think it's the best movie of 2021. I think it's it could be, honestly, I'm gonna, you guys are gonna hate me to say it. I don't know if this movie is better than Shang-Chi, dude.
Yeah, you know what? And that's we're gonna discuss that too. We're gonna have to discuss that in
I
this
don't know
spoiler
if this
talk in a
movie
little
is
bit.
better than, I like this movie. But I also like Shang-Chi, and I don't know if I don't know if this movie is better than Shang-Chi, dude. I'm sorry. You guys are gonna kill me in the chats, in the comment. I know you guys are gonna kill me, but I really, really enjoy Shang-Chi, bro. I really enjoyed that movie.
There's just a part of me that thinks like through and through, cinematography wise, graphics wise, expression of artistic value wise,
Story-wise,
Dune really brought a whole different dynamic to film telling in 2021 when it comes to like this action adventure sci-fi hero-esque mentality, because you can't put it up against, like, of course, but it's like I can't even think of any of like the super serious like Oscar award winning films that come out. Like, you can't, like, Dune. There's a part of me that I kind of have this vibe that this movie did somewhat feel like the cookie cutter superhero storytelling. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of like quotes that come from that genre of film. And what I'm scared of is Hollywood right now. There's a large amount of high caliber elite actors that are like the serious actors that don't like these films because they're not creative enough. They're not masterful enough. They're not
but
putting
who's
things
saying
up.
that though? Like, listen to the people that are saying this. Who are
Well, I
saying
mean,
this, bro?
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm not really putting into perspective like they have a say so or a value to their voice.
And some of them do, but like they're old and disgruntled, and if they had the shot, they would make a fucking MCU movie.
Well, they take the
Like,
money in a heartbeat. Yeah,
yeah,
they take the
let's
money in a
call a
heartbeat.
spade a spade. Like, shut the fuck up.
But if you gave them that right to make the movie, would it look like this, or would it be based on their format? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. The creative, artistic value of that point. And that's something that I want to hope that the movies don't fall short that way, because I think 100% in my heart these movies deserve to be put up here, and they deserve to be put in awards. And I mean, we just said it like what, like last week, no, 2 weeks ago, when we talked about Black Widow getting some award, and them fucking saying it was the greatest shit since sliced bread. And you and I were like, no, it's not. Like, there's a bunch of million movies. Like, it's okay to say they suck and
No,
that they're
but
not at that format, but we eventually hope they will be at that level.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna call a spade a spade. If it's not, we're not gonna say, oh well, fuck you because you're not on board with this MCU shit. But at the same time, if it is, then you goddamn right. I'm gonna be like, this deserves to be the best movie of the year. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck what any movie executive or producer or director says. Fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah, but through and through, I think we can both say that so far, I wouldn't say best film of 2021.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. No.
Even John here says that Dune didn't wow him, but Ghostbusters did.
And I was gonna say, like, Dune didn't wow me either. It was a good movie, but you have to have that, and I hate to say it, like that Star Wars bug in you, to kind of
appreciate it,
to kind of appreciate that. And some people just don't have that. So, like, to keep it, and that's why I use Shang-Chi as I can probably name off the top of my head 10 movies that are better than this right now. But to keep it in the realm of an MCU type movie, I probably would want to watch Shang-Chi. Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
What's the replay value on this movie? Would you go back to the movies to see this again?
Fuck.
Yeah, no, that's a no.
Yo, I want to save that for spoiler talk.
Okay.
I need to save that question for spoiler talk.
Anybody in the chat, let me ask you guys in the chat, if you guys have seen the movie, are you guys planning or do you have tickets to see it again this weekend?
All right, check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and blast a 1-minute song that I created a long time ago that's called our spoiler song. This is the one that's letting you know that when this song is done, it's only 1 minute long. When it's done, 100% spoiler free. We're talking spoilers, and here we go.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
All right, folks, changing the banner as we speak. Here we go. Getting right into it. If you're jumping into the chat, thank you for coming back in. We just passed our song. You'll see the banner on the bottom. Make sure you pay attention because if you don't know the movie yet and you don't want any spoilers, we're letting you know we're talking spoilers. So right into it. Anybody in the comments, you're allowed to talk spoilers now because the comments won't show that way until they click on it. Yeah, so let's talk some spoilers. Let's get right to the shit. What was the so far pros and cons? Best scene in the movie for you, worst scene in the movie for you?
Fuck. Best scene for me. Oh, best scene for me. Well, let's again, since this is spoiler talk, yes, all the Spider-Men were in this fucking movie. You got Toby and Andrew in this movie. My favorite scene of this whole fucking movie was Andrew Garfield's redemption save of MJ.
You called it. Yeah, you called it.
Oh, I called that shit, didn't I?
Called that weeks ago.
And you know what? Even though I called it, it still hit, bro.
Yeah,
that shit fucking.
What really helped is that he got emotional.
Yo, dude, I was gonna say his face after he saved her,
because he realized it.
I heard people in my theater, they were like, "Fuck yeah!" Like they
got emotional with it.
Yeah, they were with it, bro. And I was like, that is what I needed. Like that to me, I didn't care what happened. The cheesiest moment was Toby getting stabbed by fucking Green Goblin. Like, what the fuck was that?
Oof.
What the fuck was that?
Oof, that's heavy. That's heavy.
That was hard. That was hard for me to digest. But we'll get into everything else spoilery. But no, that Andrew Garfield save of MJ, holy shit. That was my moment of the whole movie, dude. Oh, yes, Vince, good shit. We're gonna get to that. We're definitely gonna get to that because I know that has a place in your heart too. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Which, of course, it sucked that they didn't do anything with it, but
he's coming.
Actually, you want to know, and we talked about this in pre-production, which this would be like probably one of the first and only times I'll ever disagree with you with this. With anything, I'll never disagree with you, man. The Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man scene was fucking awesome for me.
Yeah, no.
The moment I
Wait,
was
did I say it was gonna be whack? Did I say it was gonna be whack?
you were just like, bro, he tanked Doctor Strange. Get out of here. And
Oh,
I was
okay,
like,
yeah.
you were kind of disappointed that he was able to take Doctor Strange out. But that's
Oh,
the
you
thing.
mean Green Goblin?
What's
said,
up?
You said Doctor. You said
No, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man.
Okay, you
And
like
then
that?
like the moment I saw Doctor Strange pull him into the fucking
The
mirror
mirrorverse,
dimension,
the mirror
I was
dimension.
like, dude, Strange fucked up, dude. How you gonna pull a dude that does parkour into a place that's like a parkour playground, dude? That's garbage, dude.
He's the sorcerer supreme. He
No,
owns.
he's not. No, he's not.
Technically,
He's
all
not.
right. We're not doing this. We're not doing this,
I'm
Chris.
100% doing this because that
We're not
disappointed
doing
the
this.
fuck out of me, dude.
I'm not. I'm gonna disregard that even was a part of the movie.
That was really weird, right? Tell me that wasn't a weird thing for you.
No, that was super fucking weird. It was so weird that I decided to not even act like I heard the shit. Like that's how weird it fucking was. I just threw it straight out of my
that
brain.
guy. He ain't even in this
No.
film. Get out of here, Wong.
Get
Go on your
out of here,
vacation.
Wong. Get
Get out of here.
Wong.
Go to the other. He's over here telling people that Doctor Strange can't do his shit, and
Like,
he's
who the
rigging
fuck
fights
are
with
you?
Abomination and shit.
Who
He's
the fuck are you, Wong?
yeah. He's fucking rigging fights for money with Abomination and shit, trying to act like he's all the fucking top notch like good guy and shit.
All right, anyone in the comment, explain to me how you have Peter Parker, who's not even in his own dimension, he's in the mirror dimension, how he beats Doctor Strange and then gets basically tanked by Green Goblin.
Green Goblin later.
By Green Goblin later, dude. Like, explain that to me. This is the Sorcerer Supreme we're talking about, bro.
Okay, so for me, the best thing that film had was that entire scene, and the reason why my reason behind it was because there is so many variations in the comic books that Peter Parker tanks literally everyone, that he beats the fuck out of every one of them, like literally every one of them. And it's so wild for me to say that because it makes zero sense in the films, because none of the Spider-Man you could imagine doing shit. Like imagine Peter Parker in any of the films punching the Hulk into space. Like literally, that not even me fucking like exaggerating, but like uppercut, fire that bitch into space.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you would be like, dude, that's stupid, bro. That's not even real. That's 100% real in the comic books. So like, if he's able to do that, like doing a couple flips, zips, and whaps against a guy who has to physically like aim shit at you, there's no way. Yeah, but
but this isn't a wizard. It's not some basic wizard that just does that shit. We saw Ned able to open up a portal. We're talking about the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
I get that
one. You know,
but you want to know something, and you can't tell me as a Spider-Man fan that you were not the happiest you've ever been. Finally, see them give homage to the Spider Sense the way that they did in this film.
Okay, I'm going to stop you really quick because I do want to make this clear to everyone that's listening and to you. I'm not a really big Spider-Man fan. I never was.
Neither am I. I'm fucking no.
I never was. Like, I thought he was cool.
But he ain't that cool.
But he was never that cool. All right?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, he was never that cool. But yes, the one thing that has been missing from the Tom Holland, specifically from the Tom Holland
Spider Sense, right?
Iteration of Spider-Man, was the lack of the Spider Sense. And I do like the fact that out the blue, they made it very clear that it's a thing. Like,
yeah. And you know what? That's very important because that is probably his saving grace throughout the comic books, throughout the whole thing. Like literally, like that is such an important superpower.
Of course.
And the reason why it's just an important superpower,
because he would have been dead a million times.
Yeah, he would have been dead a fucking long ass time ago, man. He would have been fucking damn.
Because
you know what?
Dead a long time ago.
I think William Dafoe's Green Goblin was like the best supervillain I've ever seen in a film by far.
So there are a couple of shout outs I want to give. I want to give William Dafoe a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give Alfred Molina a shout out. I did like Jamie Foxx in this movie.
Yeah.
did
Oh
like
fuck yeah, dude. His comedy was right on spot, dude.
I like
Like
I like Jamie Foxx in this movie. Who else?
this
I like
the dude, the Sandman's wrote for character was so good.
I it was, but I needed like he was just there for me.
But that's
Sandman
what
was
he
just
always
there.
is.
He just wanted to get home.
Yeah.
He really didn't give a fuck about much. He just wanted to go home, dude. Like
Yep.
that's it. He just wanted to go home. So I really can't whatever. I did like Zendaya's
Zendaya.
performance. And I like Tom Holland's performance.
Oh, Thomas Hayden Church. That's the guy that plays Sandman.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, that's the guy that plays Sandman. And of course, Ned, the guy that plays Ned, shout out to him. He did an amazing job too.
I could have done without his performance. Like it
and
was
that's
nothing,
the other thing I want to talk
it
about.
was nothing
too.
memorable. It wasn't anything memorable.
So through and through, the movie was really, really cool from the very beginning to the end. I didn't think it was anything that bad. Okay, well, you heard about my favorite part, which I think the entire fight, literally the entire fight of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man was fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Because it really brought into perspective and a respect to Spider-Man that Doctor Strange did not have in the first place. And the only other place that I can remember that in my entire encyclopedia in my head is when Spider-Man tanks the Fantastic Four during Civil War. And Reed Richards is like, this kid is spectacular. And he literally says the exact same title of the comic book, Spectacular Spider-Man, or Amazing or something. But it's because Reed is in all of his badass stretchiness of, fucking Spider-Man is tangling his ass all up and they just can't fucking slow him down. They can't. So it gave respect to that knowledge of knowing that Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield said it the best when he says, I just stopped pulling my punches. Like he always holds back. He never, he's the Goku. He never like gives 100%. He's always
but when, because even in this movie, he kind of was nerfed. All the Spider-Man were nerfed in this movie, by the way.
There's something that's super important because I feel because of the way that they made this movie that way, I feel like this Marvel Universe Spider-Man is physically weaker than the Tobey Maguire one.
Yeah, no, like they were all
as
nerfed.
Strong as him. Yeah. Like, because fucking William Dafoe being like 900 years old, literally fucking Brock Lesnar his ass through the fucking wall. That was funny as fuck to me too. He like speared him, but like he speared him through the ground, or he like rock bottomed his ass and like went like floors down. Anybody in the comments that's listening, watching, checking this out, of course we're talking spoiler reviews. Tell me you didn't fucking cry, because I didn't cry. I didn't at all feel any emotion to May's death.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted to. Like, is that weird that I wanted to feel like I wanted to cry? But I
kind of felt it because of Toby. I mean, or not Toby, but Andrew. Fucking, there's so many of them now. Yeah. Tom Holland acting and screaming and Aunt May, wake up! Or there was no development in Aunt May's character that I could really get behind. Melissa Tomei is a great actress. I think I do understand now why during the press release tour for the movie, she was very disheartened about doing interviews. Mm-hmm. And anytime she was being interviewed, she was very like, it's cool. I don't care. Like, nobody really cares about Aunt May. Yeah. And then she wasn't in the trailers very much. Like, they wrote off the happy relationship with her and him, which was kind of like the funniest developing part of their story.
Do you feel robbed that you didn't get that? Like, you were cheated out of that story, the Happy and Aunt May?
Not really. I just thought it was silly. I thought it was funny. I thought they should have made it a little bit funnier. Like, they should have kind of built it up a little bit more, because
Aunt May was a G, kid.
Yeah, like Aunt May was badass.
She was a pimp, yeah.
And if you really, really think about it, and anybody out there that's a really, really good big Spider-Man fan that actually reads the comic books, is this the first and only iteration of a Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse that it's Aunt May who died, not Uncle Ben or Gwen Stacy or someone else like a Peter Parker? Is this the first one? Because I'm trying to piece together in my head throughout all of the Encyclopedia of Marvel and shit that I know, if they're trying to make this Spider-Man, the pinpoint Spider-Man instead of the comic book Spider-Man?
Going back to your question, about how I felt about when Aunt May died.
Mhm.
Like, and I just want to clarify. It's not that I wanted to cry. It's like as I'm watching it, I'm like, I should want to
Be
cry
sad.
here. Yeah, I should be
Should.
sad here, but I'm really
Should.
not. No. But yeah, like it just never came.
Yeah.
Like I should be sad here, but it just never came. You gave your biggest disappointment, right? So I
Yeah.
want to give my biggest disappointment. There's a lot of things that I could nitpick about this movie as to why it wasn't as big as the hype said it was going to be.
Mhm.
But I think we talked about it earlier. My biggest nitpick on this movie is the Venom post-credit scene.
Oh man, that was. I mean, yeah, like there was in the crowd, the reaction was pretty crazy that people got that hyped for it.
Yeah.
I could literally bring in all the people I was with, and I was like, why would they do that? Like,
Yeah.
why? Because to me, I'm a big stickler when it comes to continuity and creating stories and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
With the What If series, with the birth of Hela having the badass swords that she creates, my theory was after Ragnarok, her and Surtur are fighting. Those are going to be the two gods that fall on the planet. That Gore the God Butcher is then going to get Hela's weapon. And then that will be the introduction of what they call the Necro Sword in the Marvel Universe. The Necro Sword is a weapon that is made of the symbiote juice, or I don't know what the fuck they call it, symbiote stuff. But instead of it just staying a symbiote, it's forged into a weapon.
Mhm.
So I guess that makes it a weapon. I don't know what symbiote juice does when you forge it. They create a weapon out of it, and Gore the God Butcher gets it, which is our next villain in the Thor storyline, which all plays up to Null, the god of the symbiotes. They brought in Venom. They brought in Eddie Brock, which we talked about. We thought, oh shit, they're gonna bring Venom in as one of the Sinister Six. Maybe they'll send all the guys back and he stays behind, and boom, we have Venom in our universe and we have the symbiote in our universe in some way. Something cool. But no, it was like the shittiest cameo that they could have written in. And then you blew my fucking mind in pre-production with what you asked me, because I did not even fathom that idea of why was he there. Before, I'll just throw this out there because Brian asked me this question. Why was Venom there? Anyone in the comments can ask that. We'll come back to it. We'll give you guys a little bit of an opportunity to answer that, because that itself is a fucking great question.
It's a mind fucked, and I asked that because, all right, so from the movie itself, it explains from the spell that Doctor Strange casted, it was whoever knew that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. Some of those people, some of those villains, some of those characters, those are the only characters that were pulled into this universe. That was it. There was no one else. So if you did not know that Spider-Man was Peter Parker, you did not get pulled into this universe.
That was the spell. That was
the spell.
That was the fucking play of the spell.
So then explain to me why Venom, Eddie Brock, who doesn't know who the fuck he doesn't know what the fuck a Spider-Man is.
Because there is no Spider-Man in that universe.
There is no Spider-Man in that universe. Tell me why he was brought into this universe, please. That bugged the fuck out of me after I watched it. And mind you, I called it and told you that was going to be the post-credit scene.
Yeah, you were like, hey, man, I heard this thing. What do you think about this?
I told you, but I didn't know why this was how he was going to come.
Okay, so John, that's the point right there, right? So Spider-Man shows up in Venom Part 2, but he shows up because Venom is brought to the universe after the spell is done. Spider-Man doesn't show up before that. He literally has no idea, and it has nothing to do about Spider-Man, it has everything to do about Peter Parker. That means without them even admitting it, Eddie Brock would have had to have somehow ran into a Peter Parker in his universe.
And not only that, but knew that was Spider-Man. That's the criteria.
That's the fucking slice. That's the
Not
slice. Of it.
only do you have to know of a Spider-Man and a Peter Parker, but you have to know that Spider-Man is
going to be Peter Parker.
Peter Parker. He knows neither one.
He knows neither one of them.
He knows neither one. So if you don't know either one, and that's the only criteria it is for you to be brought into this universe, why is Eddie Brock in this fucking universe?
The easiest
sitting at a bar in Mexico while everybody else that was brought over into this universe
is in New York City.
Come on, bro.
The only way that could have made sense is if the spell was anyone that's supposed to interact with him, right? Like, oh, sooner or later, this character is supposed to be in the Spider-Man story. Like, and that again doesn't make any fucking sense.
None of it does.
Still does not make any sense.
Like, I get what you guys are trying to do, and I get where you want to go, but don't be lazy. Don't get lazy.
That is a horror, and
don't get lazy on me.
This goes back to the idea that I said literally right in the non-spoilers when I said this is them taking the easy route and writing shitty shit and writing themselves into corners and it making that genre look bad. Another big ass gripe that I have is that for no umpteen fucking reason, Ned grabs a sling ring and starts casting fucking portals for no fucking reason. Like, okay, cool. So Ned's the Sorcerer Supreme. Is he related to Wong? Like, what the fuck? Just because his mom's like, oh, well, there's magic in our family. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah. Nobody even knows magic exists other than fucking Doctor Strange. So how did anybody know magic existed before Doctor Strange? It doesn't make it any better for the writer to go, oh, well, how does Ned cast portals? Oh, well, let's just say there's a family member of his that can do magic. Oh, okay, cool. Like, let's just write that in. The Ned can use portals. Yeah. No, dude, that's literally the flux capacitor shit from Star Wars. Mm-hmm. The chick rips the shit out of the Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon, and Han Solo's like, what the fuck did you do? And she's like, I ripped the shit out and now it works. And it's like, you're going to tell me that like you have no idea what the fuck. You lived in sand for 28 days and you ate bread. You know how to fix a Millennium Falcon and you just fixed it by ripping a fucking piece out of it? Like, no, that's that Mary Sue shit. That's that Mary Sue easy writing shit that they needed. Yeah. They wrote themselves into some fucking dumbass Sony ass bullshit. And I'm telling you, man, Sony has a way of magically fucking things up without even thinking about it. Like, and you know what? Like, I feel so much dumber now because
were we supposed to forget that? Were we supposed to forget that? Like,
I was trying.
See, people did forget that, but listen, I'm not letting them fucking bullshit me. Yeah. I can forget the parameters as to why we had the Sinister Five. By the way, we never got a Sinister Six. We got a Sinister Five.
Yeah, that was lame.
Yeah, you can't pull the parameters from, like, if this is the parameters as to why these villains are here, then stick to it.
Did you like the fucking juke that they did with the Vulture and Morbius, dude? That they never put him in the movie?
Well, no, because I thought that was only for the Morbius movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that was in the Spider-Man franchise it was for the trailer for this movie.
Yeah. Was it? I thought it was.
Yeah, there was a trailer that they had because we talked about it. We were like, dude, the Vulture is gonna be in it. Venom and Morbius is supposed to be there. Like, how are they gonna fit all these characters into it? Like, remember, we were all kind of funny. And then, like, again, this movie does not explain how the fucking Morbius has all three fucking Spider-Man and Tom Hardy Spider-Man and Venom, and how he's able to give reference to all of them.
All of the villains or all of the people that are locked up in that prison that we know about in that Morbius movie are from the MCU movies.
They're all from all the MCU movies.
They're from the MCU movies. So that could be a little bit dicey, especially now. If you guys haven't realized, Spider-Man is in a reboot. That's what this movie was. This movie was
I am not fucking happy about, but
this movie was a reboot for Spider-Man. If you guys haven't gathered that up after watching it and thinking about it, This was a fucking reboot, and they're gonna go down a whole nother route, a whole nother road as to where they're taking this Spider-Man and where he's going, either in MCU or Sony.
And how do you guys feel about that so far? Like, are you guys cool with it being a soft reboot? Are you cool with it being where he was able to erase everybody's memories and he has to reignite this whole flame with MJ if they're gonna get something going on, and Ned and all of this stuff? Like, are you guys cool with that? Like, I really want to know. Oh, how are we? It's Trigger. It's Trigger texting from
It can
from
only
the
be
podcast.
Can only be.
Yeah, that's Triggs, my dude. We're talking spoilers for Spider-Man.
I was gonna say, Triggs, I
I-
don't know if you want to be in here right now, dude. We're talking
because I
spoilers.
think you were supposed to go check it out tomorrow, man.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't wanna
checking it
ruin
out
anything
tomorrow,
for you.
so I don't know if this is the time for you to pop in, dude.
So I am with the idea of it casually being somewhat of a soft reboot. I'm a little bit disappointed and freaked out a bit, because if we have that love interest of him and MJ like appear again, it's all because of the fact that Peter Parker's creeping and knows exactly what to say because they were already dating. And that's a little weird because he's stalking that shit.
Come on, man. It's the love of his fucking life. What is he supposed to do? Like,
She doesn't know that anymore.
Yeah, but regardless, whether she knows it or not, girl, you mine. Like, I'm just joking. But I don't know what he's supposed to do. Like, that's the love of his life, who doesn't know that he exists anymore, and he's gonna have to do something. So as long, I'll ride with it. What did you think? And Vince, again, with another great question. What did you think about the Matt Murdock scene?
I liked it, but I didn't like that it was so short.
Yeah,
I think that it's a really missed opportunity, that they had zero opportunity to explore the idea of this court case situation of him killing someone live on video, where that literally could have been an entire story development, where that's how the Sinister 4 or 3 or 5 could have shown up. It would have been a more interesting call if, instead of him chasing a random lady on the expressway, like Doc Ock and Green Goblin attacked a courthouse going after him, rather than him just being on the expressway for no dumbass running reason. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, it does go for a cooler sense of story, because it's like, okay, cool. Like, how did Doc Ock know where Spider-Man was? Like, how did he know how to find him on that expressway with how big New York is? If he just recently woke up in the harbor somewhere, why is it that he sees? Well, I guess he sees Spider-Man and that's why he reacts to him, right? But then a Green Goblin shows up like 5 seconds later because he sees an explosion on the expressway. Because Osborn does not know, or he knows Otto, but Otto knows Osborn to be dead.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not like they were in communications and had some kind of knowledge on being like, hey, Spider-Man's gonna be here, let's meet him there and beat his ass. Like, they didn't have that. So,
I'm not gonna nitpick that. Like, I'll that part I'll be dumb about. Like, whatever. However they showed up to the bridge, I'm not gonna nitpick over that. But like, again, like, the only thing that I just couldn't overlook was the Venom. The reason why Venom was in this universe. And then, number one, he's in this universe for no reason. He did nothing while he was in this universe, and then he goes back and he leaves a part of the symbiote, and now we're gonna have the symbiotes in Mexico. So you tell me how this symbiote gets to New York at some point.
they're gonna have a Spider-Man Venom Part 3, and it's gonna be
Cancun Spring Break.
It's gonna be called No More Wall.
No More Wall.
Far from Wall. A whole fucking symbiote story about him being an illegal alien, because he is an alien and he's here illegally, and then he's got to cross the. Yeah, I get it. Fucking
I
why
get it.
not?
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. I get it.
Good
I
one,
see it, I get
Sony.
it. I get it.
Good one,
I
Sony.
get it.
Yeah, they got that shit. They're gonna. That's what do we call that? We chop that up for proper representation now, or what?
That was
We always
good. That was
we're
good.
finally gonna get a Mexican Spider-Man or Venom or whatever, dude. Fuck yeah, he's gonna be brown.
A
Yeah.
Mexican Venom. Yeah.
They're gonna call him El Toxia Toxic or whatever. That's wild as fuck. Yeah, you're absolutely
Oh,
correct. Like
man.
he's in the middle of Mexico, so I don't really know what's
He's
gonna
in the
happen.
middle
It's
of
interesting because
Mexico. How is he getting to New York?
in the comic book, he comes from space. Like Jonah, it just so happens. I mean, it's shitty writing too in the comics. It ain't any better. But Jonah Jameson, who they really pushed on him being like Alex Jones, like all the way to the supplements and shit. Like that
They
was a
did.
little much. Like you didn't have to put that much into it.
I thought
But
it was
his
funny.
son's like an astronaut, and he brings that shit. And then his son ends up being like Wolf by Night or some shit like that. Another character. They're all connected in some way. But yeah, it's really weird. The Ned story, getting the sling ring, and them using that as a Mary Sue. There's just a lot of shit that they wrote into this stuff that I feel like. First off, we all knew that this movie could not happen with the other Spider-Man. I still freak out a little bit that there are some people out there that were like, nah, man, I don't know if they're really gonna be in this movie. Because it's like if you would have written this shit without the other two Spider-Man, it would have flopped the hardest, dude. And I
I don't even
don't
want to
put it
think
past
about that.
Tony.
Yeah, I don't even think
Because
about that.
because I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it's like Sony deliberately took parts, and this goes back to my boy Miles Morales. They took parts from the Spider-Verse to make this movie. They literally took the whole, like, we have a thingy to stop the bad guys, you know, and then the thingy we need to stop the portal and then send them back home and blah, blah, blah. It was literally almost the Spider-Verse Sony cartoon, except Aunt May didn't die.
When the shit got so wild, why didn't anybody press the fucking button?
I don't know, man. Yo, and you know what? The entire movie was based on the exact shit that he ended up doing at the end, anyways.
Sending everybody back home.
Yeah, literally. And 100%, like you said earlier, it was really great that Doctor Strange got mad at Peter Parker for at least not calling the people from MIT. But my thing is, why didn't Peter Parker, being a fucking genius or whatever the fuck he's supposed to be scientifically, just ask the fucking Doctor Strange for a letter of recommendation to MIT?
This was probably the first iteration of the three Spider-Man where they don't really touch on the fact that he's supposed to be a genius.
Intelligent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, zero intelligence, because like the only time they show intelligence is when they're doing fucking molecular fucking shit later in a lab. Other than that, they can't just think for human beings by themselves. Because literally, the concept would have been, hey, you know what, Doctor Strange, you are one of, if not the leading person that was a brain surgeon that saved 1 million lives. You worked for 1 million people. You were, you know, probably one of the most prolific brain surgeons in the world. And now you happen to have saved the world, you know, with the Avengers, because now people know you as a fucking magician or whatever. I think that banter of him being called a fucking magician with kid shit, like, I still think that's amazing. I love the way they pick on him about being a magician.
That was good.
Why didn't he just ask him to write a letter of recommendation to MIT to ask for all three of them to get into college?
I think, again, and this is, I don't know if I said it in pre-production or if I'm saying it now, but again, this is the first time that they made a conscious effort to make sure you realize that this was a kid. I think the time before this was maybe Infinity War when he was getting dusted. I think that was another time where I realized that he was just a kid by the way he reacted. And then this movie with his interactions with Doctor Strange, with his interactions with Aunt May, with his interactions with the Sinister Five. Like, he was so much his age. This movie was so apparent, and it felt like it was deliberate. Like they wanted to make sure that you understood that. And you know what? I think now thinking about, because how I look at it is at the end of this movie, him moving into that 1-bedroom apartment that we always see Peter Parker in, that was him growing into his next phase in life.
Next phase.
So it's like they wanted to make sure that you understood, or you understood that jump from him being a kid to him now being a man and being on his own, and to that effect. So I guess they wanted to make sure that you visually saw that jump between him being a kid and him acting like a kid and him treating things like a kid to him now being on his own. And they wanted to make that clear, I think. So, which they did. They got their point across.
Okay, so I have a double question, and the double question actually comes from Vince in a little bit.
Okay.
The first question is, what was your take on Electro mentioning a Black Spider-Man?
I thought it was fucking great. It got a pop from my movie. It got a pop from my theater. As soon as he said it, I popped. I gave off a little woohoo. Like I gave off a little woohoo. I thought of you immediately. I was like, he's probably gonna like this scene. And it was great the way he did it. He was like, "Oh, you're from Queens, and you helped the less fortunate." I just knew you were black.
I would have figured. I
would figure you were black, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, he's coming." I think that's and honestly, I think that was a great line. I hope to find out in like an interview later on that was like an ad lib from fucking Jamie Foxx, and he just threw that in there, and they decided to keep it.
That would be cool. And
it would be cool if somebody wrote that shit too. So honestly, I think it was just a good look all the way around. I do love that Miles was referenced, and I do think that he is going to come into the MCU. I think we may have to wait until this Enter the Spider-Verse shit is over before we get a live, iteration of him. But he is coming, though. He is coming.
And the second question would be what Vince is asking, which correlates a little bit. Do you think in Spider-Man 4 we will get an introduction of Gwen Stacy?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where they go from here. They're literally starting with a blank canvas. This was a soft reboot, so they can go anywhere they want with this from here on out. It would be cool if they gave us Gwen Stacy. Do I need her? Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so my thing is, I think no, and if they do bring her out, she'll be specifically Black Cat with no history with Peter Parker. I think with the way they're going forward with what they just did with the soft reboot, this Peter Parker will die, and they'll bring in Miles Morales into the universe.
Jesus Christ! It's been literally.
But let me give you the reason. I'm always telling you,
the last 5 weeks, you said this guy has to die. Like, what's up with you, bro?
Okay, so let me tell you why. Is because the spell that was given to everybody made them all forget. But this Peter Parker remembers all of it. If it was a real soft reboot, they would have made it to where he forgot, and then everyone starts anew from that part. Since he remembers, even if they introduce a Gwen Stacy, he knows, oh shit, that's the chick that I was gonna date because that Peter Parker dated her. Oh, Norman Osborn, that's the Green Goblin. If you're an Osborn, I know you're gonna be a Hobgoblin next or whatnot. He already knows these people by name and what their possibility is. You know what I mean? Ned is different because Ned, he's written in the Ultimate Universe, and then he becomes a Hobgoblin, but he has no connection to the Osborn family, right? So him, there is a possibility, but that with them writing them with this idea that they forget him, now they can bring in a Harry Osborn and make him the best friend in college, and then you get your Hobgoblin story later, okay. Right? But again, the character or the guy, the actor that's playing Ned is losing a lot of weight. He's trying to get into this shape, and it's impressive if he ends up Jonah Hilling out and getting an awesome fitness shape and then playing the role of the Hobgoblin. I think that would be great. And then we already had the small little tip of the hat of Toby being like, yeah, I had a best friend, but I had to kill him because he tried to kill me or whatnot. And then you have Ned acting all weird, and you have, him and Tom Holland, like kind of like the banter between both of them. But I think it was purpose that they made him remember all of this stuff, because those will be the memories that he takes into the expression of being someone who teaches someone to be a better Spider-Man later, and be like, you know what, he already knows. He's got a heads up on what can happen now. Like, he's got the one up on all these other villains and Spider-Man and everything. Like right now, if an Osborn shows up in his universe, he 100% knows he's already going to be a villain.
Yeah.
Like, without even trying. If there's an Otto Octavius somewhere in his universe, he knows 100% that guy could possibly be a villain.
Yeah.
Like, if any of these people that he knows by name now and their identities, he knows they can be a villain, but you know who he can't? The Morales family, the Miles Morales relationship. If they brought in Panther, Glover, right? When they brought in Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Like, he does not know that about that character. You know what I mean? Like, that part of that history in this universe is still a blank canvas. That's more of a blank canvas than anything. But what's crazy is with that story, if they brought in Miles, he would not know if there was an Osborn that becomes Green Goblin.
True.
You get me? So
I got you.
That's the only thing that my gripe about this is that they did not wipe Peter Parker's memory.
I think that was deliberate. I think there's going to be a reason for that. Okay.
The other thing is, I don't know if they deliberately erase the other people's memories when they go back.
Like the other villains?
Yeah. Because if they
we're probably never gonna see them again. So what difference does it make?
There's only two ways it's gonna flip, right? Because you have Tom Hardy's Venom. He was in this universe. He saw TV. He knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Venom knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility we could get that. And with the way that they wrote, my straight up opinion, the way they wrote Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's relationship amongst each other, they would easily be the best buddy cop moment for an actual live action Spider-Verse.
Yeah, so I did read somewhere earlier today, and I think somebody mentioned in here that they would be good for Secret Wars, and I did hear that that
would be a slick move, dude. Slick move.
I heard that Kevin Feige loved their dynamic on camera, and he's open to doing something else with them. All right, so we got your weekly Miles Morales.
Miles call.
Yeah, your Miles Morales going around the way. So we got so we already touched on one of the mid-credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home with the Venom scene, but we did not touch on the post-credit scene, which was the trailer to the upcoming Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow. First, we got to get like a fucking small little 1 second view of Doctor Strange.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Doctor Strange protecting America Chavez from what I think is Shumagorath still, but his earthly vessel, the one that we see, not his like cosmic vessel.
Yeah.
Or at least a little part of him. We got to see that. So in a way, we know that Shumagorath is after America Chavez. We can dictate that from that, just that one little part. We got to see the live action iteration of the Sorcerer Supreme, which we hope and think is the one from the What If series. Is it? We don't know. It could be, or it can't be, or it couldn't be. If you think about it, like if it's an iteration in the multiverse, then it could be a lot of different variations, because we know that one is locked up somewhere in some weird dimension or whatnot. But it was cool to see Doctor Strange use that spell to hold this spell when he traps it in that weird little globe that looked like that
was something
crystal.
That was something straight out of the What If.
A What If episode.
show.
So it's very, very cool for them to be pulling from the What If series.
Yeah.
So right now, when they were talking about maybe bringing in like the Captain Carter,
Okay.
the Captain Carter character into the series, like we can see that it's not out of the question. It's not something that it's above them and they're gonna be like, nah, that's from a fucking cartoon. We're not gonna use that shit. Like, no. Like there is a possibility now that they could be pulling from that.
Yeah.
So and we get to see this whole idea of like Wanda talking about how she understands the What If from the WandaVision series, that she knows she fucked up and she knew Doctor Strange would come, which of course people theorized that Doctor Strange would visit her in the show, which he never did. And then him be like, well, nah, yeah, I get it, but nah, I didn't give a shit about that. Like, I'm here for
I'm not here for that.
It kind of like slaps everybody in the face for theorizing that he was going to show up.
Yeah.
But like, and it gives them a nod that shows the company is listening to its audience.
Yeah.
But then to see that it's going to be like an adventure between both of them, it's going to be great. And then of course they give this like really interesting dynamic where they're saying, well, the biggest threat in the universe, Doctor Strange, is you. And then they show the walk up between both characters. But I think you hit it right on the nail when you said that you think that's a misdirect.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because you're a believer in thinking that Wanda is going to be the major villain of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be shit. I still think it's a great idea because
I need that. You know why? Because I need that. I need that.
But you know what? Like straight up, like I think you're hitting it right on the button. The reason why is because Marvel isn't going to give us the villain to this like crazy like storytelling just in the trailer. Like, hey, check it out, dude. Like, there you are. There's the villain. It's Dr. Opposite Negative Supreme or whatever, It's pizza with pineapples or whatever, like whatever he's supposed to be of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to do that in a trailer, dude. They're not. Shout out to Sony and Marvel for sticking all the way to the end of their run with keeping Toby and Andrew Garfield under lock and key. Like
at least trying.
Man, they tried their best and they almost did a fucking phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, straight up, I think that was pretty cool. That was pretty fantastic.
I just want to iterate really quick before we get off the topic. The reason why I'm so stuck on this Wanda thing is because I need it. I just need her to be on the level with someone that's even remotely, because I don't think Doctor Strange is on her level, honestly.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. For him to be on her level, he needs to do in the comic books what he does, which is he has to go to the underground, the demons market, and sell a part of his soul. Like that's when
fuck it, dude. Fuck it, sell part of your soul, bro.
Like hearing that, right? Like as a person, like I don't know if you've ever read like Doctor Strange stories. Like hearing that as a thing, doesn't that kind of entice you to be like, bro, I could totally be about that. Sounds fucking crazy as shit.
That's what
him
I'm saying.
Going to an underground demon market to sell his soul, like that's a thing. Fucking bring that shit out. But you see, when he does that, that's always for like these really cool, big, like when he did that, when I remember it the most was when he was fighting Worldbreaker Hulk. Like he could not get to the power of what Hulk was. So he was like, dude, what am I going to do? Like, I know what I need to do. I need to go sell my soul and do all this stuff. So yeah, man.
But I need that. I need that showdown between Wanda and I just need the showdown because like ever since what was it, Endgame? Yeah, ever since Endgame, when they were hinting about how powerful Wanda was, I've just been waiting for the time for them to unleash it. She had her whole fucking show where she really didn't even tap into
her fucking shit.
Her shit.
Yeah.
So I need a showdown with somebody as powerful, even though he just got tanked by fucking SpiderMan, which is the worst thing ever. But now I need to see the Sorcerer Supreme against Wanda. I need that showdown. I want that, bro. I want to see that shit. That's gonna be dope.
What if Shot in the Dark? we get it, but it's because like another villain possesses Wanda. Would you be okay with that? Like a Shumagorath taking the vessel and power of Wanda and using that to fight against Doctor Strange?
Nah,
Or would
no,
that be like a cheap cutout?
that's cheap. That's cheap.
Because
No.
like right now, like the thing is like, okay, WandaVision literally made her
OP.
a villain. Like they
Yeah.
made her a villain. Even though at the end she knew she was wrong. Like she literally was like, well, yeah, I'm sorry. I fucking made these people into slaves.
Fuck,
Fuck
I'm
all you
out.
people. Yeah. And then she bounced out. And Sword was like, all right, deuces, bye, or whatever.
Like,
Like,
what are you gonna do? You gonna
like,
stop her? What are you gonna do?
Like they
No,
just let
you're
her
gonna
take
get out
off
of her
'cause
way.
She's way beyond that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a part of me that's just kind of like what can they do? They just made her a villain and she kind of pulled herself away from that in the last one. But you're right, they don't show her power in full. And now she has the book of the dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or she has that book. What was it called? The dark book or the dark note
Dark
or
Hold. Dark Hold.
Hold. She has the Darkhold book.
She took over a complete town with not knowing shit.
With not knowing anything about magic.
Not knowing anything about magic, dude.
So now she's prolifically going into the dark note or the
Darkhold.
The Darkhold. You reading it and taking in all of that shit, not knowing that the book itself has the power to corrupt you.
Yeah.
But we see in the story right now through the trailer, just by trailer alone, that, you know, she is pretty much like she has a grip on it. She's chilling, but we don't know if that's just a facade.
Yeah.
Because there is a part in the comic books that when they do introduce all of this part from like the WandaVision show, that you find out that there is a multiversal Wanda that literally possesses their Wanda in every universe and then kills off everyone and absorbs their shit.
I thought she was a Nexus being though.
Kind of like her herself. There is different multiverses of her.
Okay.
But there is one specific one, and I forget what it is off the top of my head. And when WandaVision came out, when her future self appeared to her in the stone, I could have sworn that was Marvel saying, this is that character. She's coming into this Wanda and possessing her because she knows she will be the Scarlet Witch later.
Okay.
And she's inside. So like maybe, just maybe you're going to get that. And we're going to get that character who's possessed Wanda because of the stone and what it can do transverse the multiverse, time and space. Maybe. And that's why she appeared as like full on like witch version of herself when she was barely like a nobody in the Hydra camps or whatever. So through and through, I think the Doctor Strange story looks good. It looks good. It's something really exciting to look forward to. And knowing that I can kind of see where they're going to use the Spider-Man story to go forward with this.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of like, you know, there was a lot of multiverse breaking in this. Like you saw that one part where they're all coming, that one scene.
Yo, I wish there were like Easter eggs in there and we saw who the fuck. I don't know who any of those people were.
So the first one holding the staff was Kraven the Hunter.
No shit.
Yeah, that was Kraven. That was literally him, and you could see the big puffy.
Oh,
like,
I didn't put it together.
And then the other one was, I couldn't see all of them. So and I guarantee if I go back and see it, I could go back and probably find Miles in there. I 100% think Miles will probably be in there. 100%. I'll put my name on that because the next part, when they showed the other cut, you could see the cartoon Rhino, like the one that just like in the big silicone suit with the horn.
Yeah.
Like he like turns and looks and then turns. So yeah, there is some really great Easter eggs in that purple.
I couldn't make any of them out, and I tried. And you know what? The one that I'm thinking that you're talking about with the Kraven, I think he was like the biggest one,
Yeah, he was the one that was the closest character.
Like the closest. Okay.
He looked almost like a Celestial.
Yeah,
like he looked like something that was like but that's him. He's literally with a spear,
Yeah.
And he just has like his vest. He's like a hunter. Like he's gonna look like a dude like in the forest.
Definitely remember that part because I remember watching and looking. I'm like, yo, there's got to be somebody that I know, or there's got to be Easter eggs in here. And I remember watching that and saying that to myself, and I couldn't picture anybody, dude.
So, yeah, you see, there you go. Vince Weaver saw him too. He saw
So
Craven and
crazy.
Rhino.
Rhino, awesome.
Okay, so through and through, going back to what you said before we started the spoilers talk, because I think we've covered a good amount of this story. Is it something that you feel what's the rewatchability on this film?
I could watch this again. I can definitely see myself if a couple of my friends were like, yo, let's go see Spider-Man on Sunday. I'll be like, I'll go. I would see it again.
For me personally, if someone like called me and was like, hey, you want to go see it again? Like, I could possibly go see it again. But could I wait for it just to be on like a Disney Plus or something? Yeah, but I feel like this is a really good theater movie.
Yeah, no,
I really
would
feel like it's a good theater movie.
Yeah, I saw it. The movie that I went to, it was the Dolby DX IMAX shit. So like, I got like the IMAX shit, and I got like the the rumblings under my ass and all that shit. So like, that was like a great experience. Like that was probably the best. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's the best way I could experience it. But like you said, I could have probably just have seen this movie in a regular fucking movie with no IMAX, no nothing, and it would still probably hit. But what is the replay value is definitely there. I would definitely see this again in the movies if somebody was like, yo,
right here, look, even right here, Vince says his uncle spotted the scorpion in the sky.
No shit.
Cool, man. That would probably be one of the major reasons I do take a chance to try to go see it again, because I would really like to
see who you could
see how
catch.
many Easter eggs I can find in there. If there's one thing that I tried to do is I tried to find Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Mary Sue about them just having Stark tech there, like where it was just something that could just make shit that can heal everybody or whatever.
But that was I think that was one, them keeping Tony still in the picture. They're still keeping Tony in the picture somehow, some way. And then two, it speaks to the fact on how smart Tony. This motherfucker had a fucking a laundry machine that turned into a fucking
yeah, like a fucking thing that could create anything.
A living computer.
Yeah,
like that's some wild. In Happy's, can we talk about Happy's apartment for a second? Like, why? How are you the right hand man of Tony Stark, and you have a bachelor's pad in Long Island?
That's so funny. I thought it was good,
on, bro.
I thought it was good,
dude.
Yo, on a side note, I thought it was genius writing for Peter Parker to invite all the Sinister Five to his house to kind of like talk shop or whatever. Like in all of them,
I didn't like that. I was confused by that. I was confused.
Fucking funniest thing is they actually showed up. Like they were like,
they came through.
They came through. They were like, all right, cool, bet we'll go over
to
the
if you think about it, they didn't have a choice. It was either they come and get reformed, or
they just go back and die,
or they die. Yeah, so they didn't have a choice. So it was like, all right. I mean, I think Jamie Foxx even said it. He was like, I really don't have a choice here. Like you're not leaving me with much of a choice. So I'll go. And hopefully, this may work. We'll see.
Yeah, you see, Vince also says in the comments, the cap shield on Lady Liberty still gives him questions. Yeah, I think it was just their way of reaching, because like right now in the part where he's taking Mary Jane and he's swinging with her, you can see like the Rogers. So Steve Rogers right now is very prolific in the Marvel universe. So it's super weird because I think in the upcoming movies, you're going to quote me on this, there's going to be 2 Captain Americas.
Wait, what?
I think there's 2 Captain Americas.
We don't have any. So how do we get 2 out of 0?
Because you still have the one that went back to the past and went all the way and lived his life, and you have the regular Captain America back. And since they already stopped Thanos of that future from the past, there is no Infinity Gauntlet story in that storyline.
The current one is either dead or on the moon. So,
and if he's on the moon, they're everybody's worshiping or hero worshiping the one that's on Earth, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, that one was healed and picked up by all the Hydra agents that the future Captain America told that he was a Hydra agent to. And then he wiped his mind with the scepter.
Didn't someone else do that? Didn't Nick Fury do that? He did the whole fake this death and hid out on the moon for a little bit.
Yep, that's the man on the moon, man. That's the story. That's original sin. And that's what I think they're going to be doing with the Captain America story soon. That's what I think. And it just so happens that there's a Broadway story that hero worships Steve Rogers, not the Avengers, Steve Rogers. Because if you can hero worship him, have him be a villain, people won't know whether to choose him or not because they see him as a hero. No matter what, he can be Hydra, and you're gonna be like, oh, but that's the dude. You know, he's Hydra agent, but that's the dude though. Like, because that's the way it is in the comics. A bunch of people, even when he became Hydra and he's over the world, there were people that were like, hey man, but that's Cap, man. Like that's Cap. Yeah. I follow Cap to the end. So I think they're setting up a really, really great story with that. We're gonna see, but yeah, that's my call on that, guys. Everyone in the comment section, I want to thank you coming to the show. It's always a pleasure having you here, guys. What did you think of Spider-Man No Way Home? We waited so long for this movie. Did it hit the spot for you like the way it did for us? But what we were saying, do you have anything that goes against it? Did you feel like the death of May was the biggest thing you'd ever seen that ever happened to Tom Holland Spider-Man? Were you cool with all the other stuff that happened? I don't really want to spread too much spoilers after we've already discussed it. I want to kind of cut the spoilers out. But was this movie everything that you expected it to be, or was the advertisement too much? And did they give you too much that you already could pitch the whole story to me with just the advertisement? Guys and gals and anyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much. Again, shout out to our sponsors with the collectors. And guys, don't forget this weekend, Sunday, we're going to be out at McAllen at the collectors. I will be, not Brian yet. Sooner or later.
Not yet. I will be.
Sooner or later. We're going to get a crossover one of these days.
Hell yeah.
We're going to be out there Sunday, guys. Go visit us. Go check us out. We're going to be there from 12 to 9. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to all our extraordinary listeners. We appreciate you. Go watch Spider-Man. Don't take that away from yourselves. Go experience it at the theaters. It's a great movie. Tell us what you think. Tag us when you go watch it. Tell us exactly what you think. Tell us what you love and you hate. And we'll see you guys again next Saturday here, 9 p.m. here on the Average Boys Podcast. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys again next week. Laters.
Peace.